This is Evan Dresel. I am the head women's soccer coach at Oklahoma Christian University. This is episode 31 of the Futbol podcast.
Yo, welcome back to the Futbol podcast, the number one soccer podcast out of Selva Studios. I am your host, Ricardo Ulloa, and with me today, no co-host. It's just going to be me. My two co-hosts are busy with high school playoffs, so I'm wishing them the best of luck. Nani's probably out there supporting the Santa Fe South boys, and Paulo's out there as the assistant coach of the Bishop McGinnis girls team. By the time this comes out, state champs are already going to be crowned, so yeah, I don't even know why I'm telling everybody that. But what I do have with you guys today is a guest. A really good guest, special guest. He is the current head coach of the girls at OC, Evan Dresel.
Wow. You going to be doing that the entire podcast?
Yeah, that one. Hopefully it's just that one and not this one. Hold on.
If I tell a joke that falls flat,
I have that one coming. I haven't used it properly.
I tell a lot of jokes. So if I tell one that falls flat,
we'll have a dad joke competition here in a second.
Yeah.
And see who has it. But Evan, how are you? Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. The way that we went from just casually talking to you going right into the intro and just hitting a home run.
You think so?
Yes.
I got to close it.
I'm blown away.
I had to close my eyes, take a deep breath.
Yeah,
the music
I noticed
turns
the
me
deep
on.
breath. And then, boom.
Let's get it. Yeah, well, I wish I would have started recording, but today's been really hectic for me. Normally, I would love for a guest to come in, and I have all this set up for them so they can feel the full effect. But you got to see it at its bare bones. And you've been very flexible with me as well, moving the schedule and the time around. So I do want to say I appreciate that as well.
Yeah. Man, and let me just say, too, like, I'm so proud of you guys and, like, what you're doing with Futbol Factory and with this podcast. It's great to see, like, all these players that, whether I've coached or just been around or, you know, coached you and then coached your brother a little bit and then you had friends that come out. All these guys are doing so well. It's like, it's just, I think it's my favorite part of the job. Now that I've been doing it for a while, you start going, man, this is kind of why I think I do this, just to see these players and these guys. And now, you know, with the girls I've coached, they're all starting families and they're teachers and they're all doing their thing. And it's like, wow, it's unbelievable to watch. So it's like, you guys are amazing to watch what you're doing. And I think with Futbol Factory and with this, the way that you guys are helping the soccer community is, I think it's something we're struggling with right now in the state. So to see you guys being the ones, I just said that you're a man of the people.
Yeah, it sounded weird, but I hear you.
But that's the way we should be thinking. And so the way that you're doing that, I think, has been pretty special. So
thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
It's amazing to watch.
Thank you. Well, let's jump into the podcast. Have you coached anybody? Have you coached a kid of a player that you've ever coached?
Hold on, man. I haven't been coaching like 40 years.
I know, but
about 15.
You said that some of your players have had kids, and I've had a kid.
Here's the funny thing that's happening. So do you remember Brianna Jesioro? You know Brianna and Brogan? Okay. So I have a 5-year-old daughter. They have a 5-year-old daughter. So my kids are playing with my players' kids now in soccer.
That's a weird
So that
one.
is happening. The other funny thing that's happening is Zach Bice, you know,
Shout out to
he's
Zach.
got grandkids.
He does.
Yeah. So his grandkids aren't much younger than my kids.
Wow.
So at some point, we're probably going to be watching the same game together.
Yeah.
But he's going to be watching his grandkid, and I'm going to be watching my kid.
Some big inception.
So there are some weird things like that happening. But no, I don't think I've coached a kid of someone else I coached.
Not yet. It's coming.
Maybe I have, man. Wow. Yeah, it's coming.
It's coming. It's before you know
I'm only
it.
38. Whenever I was coaching you guys at MACU, I was...
You're not that older than I am. I'm 30. So it's only 8-year difference.
Yeah. So I look old, a lot older than what I am. But yeah, that's going to be the day whenever I'm coaching. Yeah, that's how I'm going to know.
And then there's going to be something else after that and something else after that. But shout out to you and your coaching career. Tell me what you're doing right now.
I am, well, in July, I just left MACU to take the women's job at Oklahoma Christian. So like I said.
Congratulations.
Thank you. There it is.
There it is.
I'm glad it wasn't the other one.
No, not yet. Not yet. It's coming.
I think it is weird for people, I think, to see me and Zach in a different, because he's the AD at Westmore now,
I've heard.
and then I'm over at Oklahoma
Congratulations to
Christian.
him.
But it's just, I think it is kind of strange for people to see us in a different realm.
Light.
Yeah, different light. So, no, I love it. It's been great. It's bittersweet. I hated to leave MACU. Obviously, it was, that place was so special to me. But I think I still have a good relationship over there with everybody, and so I can always go back and enjoy a game and that kind of thing. But I'm on to my next venture, and it's going really well.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you. You must be really excited, and I think for the growth of of the career, maybe of the coaching career, you just had to try something different, maybe.
Yeah, it's so strange because the job was open for a while, and I wasn't even interested in it. We just came off a great year with the women. We just got all the lights and all these shiny things were coming in. All these things I've been working my whole career for. And then I was just out on a run one day and just thought, man, why? I need to look into that. Something was just intuition was telling me. And I think I feel like I needed to be stretched a little bit as a coach and kind of try something new. And I'm always telling my players, be brave, put yourself out there. And I was like, I'm not really doing that myself. I'm just kind of,
You're talking the talk. And
yeah. And we were doing well. And actually the team I had coming back to MACU, I felt like was my best team that I've ever had on the women's side. Wow. We've had some great teams, even in the past. I think we were just deeper than we've ever been. We had a lot of girls coming back that had been in the program for 3 or 4 years. And so they were, girls that knew what we wanted. So I think that it was hard. That was hard too. Because I really cared a lot for those players that were on the team. And it was it was quick.
Some of the biggest decisions in our lives come that way, don't they?
Yeah,
it's really quick.
Yeah. And I'm the kind of person, I'm not going to just jump at things really knee jerk really fast, but someone just told me I just got to try this. I got to see what I can do. And I'm glad I did. I do miss, the people at MACU. I miss the girls that I coached and the guys that I coached there and all that. But I'm so excited about where I'm at that I think it's going to be.
It's going to be a good year.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I think we're all excited to watch, getting ready to see it.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of time to grow it, but that's what I'm in it for. So,
how different is this first day at OC compared to your first day at MACU?
Oh, first day?
Yeah.
Do you want to know what my first day was like at MACU?
Please. Yeah, it's just comparing the two, because how long was your tenure at MACU?
I think at least 13 years. I think
13 years.
Yeah, I started part time. When I started helping Zach, I was part-time assistant, and then they moved me into co-head coach at some point, and just kind of.
So Zach was there before.
Zach was the head coach. Yeah, he coached there a year before I got there.
Okay.
There was no scholarships when he started. I came in, and a couple weird things happened. One, I walked up to practice because he coached the men and the women. So I get up to girls' practice, and he's out there with a girl, and I'm like, by himself. I'm like, what is going on here? I don't know him. I don't know him that well. So I walk up, and they're sitting on the hood of his car. I'm like, what? What did I get myself into? I didn't know his wife was playing on the team.
Oh,
so it was Lori.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, and I don't think he even told me the whole. he didn't ever tell me this is my wife.
That's funny.
So that was And then one of the guys on the men's team. I played with in club.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his name is Clint Paxton. So his nickname was Ribs.
Ribs.
So nicest guy I think I've ever met in my life. Really soft-spoken, but in club soccer he was kind of known to
tear some ribs up.
Oh, just killing people all the time.
Really?
He was a great goal scorer, great with his feet. He was kind of known to get a red card often.
That's funny.
So I always thought his nickname was Ribs because he was killing people. Yeah. He come to find out he won a rib eating contest.
Oh, really?
That's why his name was Ribs.
Oh.
So I was like, dude, this whole time. But anyways, I go out there.
You should just went with that one. That's why they call me Ribs.
But I go out there and I'm like, I see all these guys walking up and I see him and I'm like, oh, I'm about to coach someone that I just played with my entire life. So it was different because I was 23 when I started there, and it wasn't. That would never happen now. It fell in my lap. Now you got to really work to get your foot in the door. You got to be a GA.
That wouldn't happen at the MACU you have today.
Yeah, exactly. Those jobs just don't come open like that. And so it really fell in my lap. I'm fortunate, grateful that it happened because we were talking before we started this. I didn't really have a lot of direction about like where I was going. It was just like whatever's next. And I happened to meet Zach at a coaching course or something, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come out?" And
That's
you know how
so
Zach talks.
funny,
Come out and
yeah.
coach with me, dude. We could really use you. You know, I didn't hear
That's
from him.
so good. I can close
from
my
him.
eyes and see him and keep going.
Well, then I didn't hear from him for 6 months, you know?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, my dad's like, are you going to do something with your life? And then sure enough, Zach, just impeccable timing.
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon, you know, you going to come out and help me? I'm like, I guess so.
Yeah.
So that's how it all started. Just
Wow.
it's kind of like, yeah, I guess I'll do that. And then here we are.
23.
Yeah.
So how many years was that?
So I was there 13. I'm 38 now. So I think I was there 14 years. And
Wow.
then I've, you know,
14 years is a lot.
it doesn't seem like a lot when you just think about it, but when I think about everything that happened in that 14 years, it's like a long time.
Well, I mean, I don't know how you take, you know, time in your head, but you probably just go season by season.
Yeah.
Season by season by season by season by season by season.
Yes.
And it's been like that since you've been 23.
Yeah.
So you haven't had like a...
Well, and I played at SNU.
That's right. And
So I played for an amazing team.
I was going to you've played with some ballers.
Yeah. Yeah. And so made a Final Four of the NAI national tournament. We actually were missing a couple of our top strike, Dominique, Niaga.
Let's start from high school.
Okay.
So you played at Mustang because I definitely want to dive into that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I played at Mustang, grew up in Mustang. My parents and some other parents helped start, you know, not start soccer in Mustang, but had a big part of growing soccer in Mustang for sure. Yeah.
There.
And it's good to see now because the soccer culture in Mustang is
top notch.
still great. Yeah.
Top
So
notch.
I know that you talked to Garrett on here and he probably talked about that a little bit, but played at Mustang. And then I went to SWASU out of high school to play my freshman year there. Played for a season there when they had men's soccer. They don't have men's soccer anymore. And then transferred, had a chance to go to OU and try to be a kicker, which is kind of funny.
Why didn't
it just, my heart wasn't in it.
No. Okay.
I mean, so I was recruited out of high school to be a kicker at some big schools. And just because I had a strong leg, I wasn't,
yeah.
you know, I don't think I was anything special. I was a really good punter just naturally. And so, but soccer just always.
Can you imagine being in a full 90 minutes, getting to play? I think soccer's a very personal because you can play to your personality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's many different ways as opposed to a kicker where you're just your job
It
is just to
killed me.
boot it. And it's so boring. There's nothing to
it. was kind of cool because
no knocking
I was
any of the
around
kickers
it,
out there, but
like being around a football, it's different. I mean, it's just so different than soccer. But so that was kind of fun. But I ended up getting hurt playing indoor, and I couldn't really kick that well. My dad was so mad. But I kind of took that as like, you know, how men are, right?
Yeah.
We're cavemen. We're idiots. So we're like, oh, this is a sign, you know. I hurt myself playing soccer, so I must
play football.
I should be playing soccer, you know. So that's when I left. I left there and went to SNU and started that whole journey of that. And I did play. The guys I played with at SNU,
Monsters.
I mean, I can't even. It's hard to even describe them.
I had mentioned it. The top 5 players that we've played against at Western, and Dominique is on that list. He would do things that I would just be like, "How? This guy's like 40, 50." And
I thought he was 40 at SNU. I mean, actually, I thought he was like in his 20s, and then you know, and then you find out they're older. It's the old days at NAI.
Yeah.
Who knows where everybody played?
Who else
before.
played on that team?
So Thomas Serenga,
another monster.
I played with him for a year in the center midfield, which was amazing. Dominique, we had a guy named Daniel Aguina, who's I think he was the most underrated player out of that bunch. Robert, you know Robert, big tall.
I have to see him. If I seen him, I'll probably recognize him, but the name isn't coming to me right now.
He's probably, I've never played with anybody like him in my life.
Really?
I think he was the defender of the year we went to the Final Four in the whole country. And then just a load of other internationals, just guys from, I mean, I think at one point, we had players from like all over the world. It was crazy. And they'd all played back home and did different things, but it was a special team.
How was it walking in from Mustang High School to a team like that? I mean, sure you played before, but that's a different team.
You know, man, I've never really been like scared to go in and put my foot down and try to get my place into a team. That was definitely probably the hardest team I've ever been in to like
try to
really
yourself.
because I think I had to prove myself to them Like when you play with internationals and you're American, it takes like some time for them to trust you. And, you know, all those guys are African. They're from different African countries, but they really know, you know, they live together. They're close. And it just took some time for them to go, oh, he can do it. Bad. Yeah, he's not bad. I do have regrets. I wish I would have been a little bit more like we were talking earlier, right? Like you're like, man, I wish I would have put a little bit more into it. Because at that point in my life, you know, soccer's always been there, and it's, you know, amazing. It's the way I express myself. It's what I love. But there's other things, you know, you're not focusing on school, and that's on your mind, and then you're not focusing, you know. And I wish I would have just put a little bit more into it.
I did.
But, you know, I try not to live with regret. I want to take that and just help someone else that's going through that. Yeah. Maybe be a little bit better.
Using it.
Yeah.
Definitely using it. Yeah, because that's definitely when, like you say, I don't want to think back on it too much, but it's gotten me where I'm at now. And being able to look at some of the lessons that I didn't do so greatly on, definitely now looking at it with some better perspective, gives me a little bit of character.
Yeah, man. Time is so valuable. Like you cannot, I always tell my players, like, if you paid me $100, I can pay you back $100, but I can never pay back time. Like time just goes, it's gone. Like you cannot pay it back. So, you know, for one, we always talk about, let's never waste our time. Like if we're going to be here, let's be here, let's be present, and let's not waste each other's time. But, you know, the past is the past. It's like, it's only a waste if you don't use it to learn from. You know what I mean? Like if you don't learn from some of those things, and if you never get better, it's a waste. You wasted your time. You can't get it back. So I try not to have like regret, but I also try to learn from it. Yeah. So, and you seem like you've done that too. Yeah. You know, of course, we're all like, I mean, if I could go back now, and like I'm 38, of course.
Well, that's not how the game is played. If only we could, you know, there probably would be some things that I'd say to myself, but who knows if I would have done that, where I'd be now, you know?
Dude, you're a good player. You're a really good player. The thing that you, I think, had a hard time with just from being young was just consistency. That was, you know, you'd have a game or a practice where it was like, oh, like he can get it. And then, you know, sometimes, but we were always playing against, you know, 25, 26-year-old English guys with a bunch of 18 and 19-year-old, you know, Hispanic guys from Oklahoma City. And we held our own quite a bit. But there were some games that we got it handed to us. But there was also, you know, that just comes from being young. I think if you would have had a little bit more time to marinate a little bit, then you just become more consistent.
I had a lot of growing up to do, that's for sure. I was open to a lot of new things, and I wasn't making the best decisions. And a lot of the things that I took a lot of frustration out on a lot of other people too. But looking back on it now, that was all my fault. I should have taken everything a lot more serious. But, I mean, I sure had a lot of fun.
Yeah, but you got to think about how you were thinking when you were that age.
I was dumb. I was so dumb. Oh, my God. That's so dumb. That's so bad. But this is good. This is good because I feel like I have always felt like I've needed to get a lot of things off my chest. Having you as my coach, and that at that time was a tough time. But I took a lot of things very badly. And I did not use a lot of the problems that I had to step up to be that new person that I needed to be. Looking back on it now, I can definitely say it wasn't your fault. It wasn't Bice's fault. It wasn't the circumstances that I had. That was all my fault. Yeah. And you probably didn't even know I was going through all this. But I feel like I did need to come off, and that's just poor me, you know? Poor me. But, man, I mean, having gone through all that stuff now, knowing now, it's just, I'm so grateful for all of that.
Man, the best thing you can do is what you just said, and just own it. I mean, there are other people that are at fault. Like, there's definitely some things as a coach that I wish, like, man, I wish I would have seen that, or not just with you, but just, you know, you go, you kind of rehash things. You go, man, I wish I would have saw that with that. How did I not see that? How did I not? But again, like, I can't take it back. You just got to own it and learn from it. And a lot of people don't own it, man. They just hang on to it forever. And you're like, you're just not healthy. Stay where you are. You got to own it and move on.
It's not healthy that's whatsoever. Good. And I've taken, me and my wife, we've done some therapy together. And a lot of it is communication. Yeah. So much of it is, and everything is communication. So it's just, we just have to all be better communicators, I guess.
It's, you know, it's the hardest thing. It's the most important thing in a leadership position is communication. If you can't communicate, you can't influence. If you're not influencing, then why are you coaching? And you're not coaching, but you're in a little bit of a leadership position, in my opinion now. Like, I'm sure you've got people coming up to you asking you advice about things and, that kind of stuff. And they're seeing you on this and they're, you'll get that.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to communicate.
Yeah. Communicate. Let's bring this back to soccer because we've kind of derailed a little bit.
It'll happen, man. I'm going to go down a lot of rabbit holes.
Communication, though. Let's stay on communication. You're going to go to a new team. Communicating with those new players, like, how do you show up to a new team? Like, how do you attack that situation? I was talking about this with a player of mine, not a player, a person here. And I said, one of the things that I like to do is I like to have everybody go scrimmage because then I pick up people's personalities on the pitch. No matter what, somebody might come and say they're a defender, but if I see them doing different things, that's just the way that I get to know some of my players when I do a little bit of coaching. But for you, how do you attack this type of situation?
So I don't want to say I'm a demanding coach, but I feel like I have a high standard for a lot of different things. But I do know that if I want to push a player, to their max and get the most out of them, I've got to get to know them as a person first, because they have to know that I love them and that I care about them. I can't just get onto them and, and that's where I've probably changed in the last 10 years for sure, is just going like, why am I not getting the most out of these people? It's because I'm challenging them, but they don't know that I care about them. You know what I mean? And so it's important to me always to establish relationships with my players for sure. They've got to know that they can always come in my office and talk to me, not just about soccer. So when I go into a new team, obviously I can't do all that in like a day. Yeah. But that takes time and seeing things and pulling people in, stuff like that. But from influence and communicating with the team, and they got to get to know me too. Like, I've got the worst jokes ever. My players, if any of them listen to this, they're like, oh no, don't talk about this. But But I've also learned how to be really vulnerable and just be myself and be genuine. Yeah. So I'm never going to go into a team. I don't care if it's Oklahoma Christian or WPSL or whatever it is, or my daughter's, the Rainbow Unicorns. Like, they're going to see me for who I am. If I want to start the session off, I just did an ID camp in Austin for Sting. And okay, here's the joke. I started off and I said, it's just this big group of players, right? And I'm like, how much does a polar bear weigh? And they're like, I don't know how much. And I was like, enough to break the ice. Evan Dresel, nice to meet you. Now, it was awful. That's a terrible joke.
I like that one, though.
But I want them to know, like, right away, like, that's how I'm going to be different. Yeah. Like, I'm going to show you who I am. I want to learn who you are, and we're going to work together. Now, the other thing with my team, with Oklahoma Christian, is the thing that was most important to me is that I feel like the players needed to have ownership over the program. That's a huge thing for me. Is I think too many times coaches want to be in charge of everything and they want to own everything, and I actually think the other way. I want to get my teams to the point where they're in ownership of our program. I'm sailing the ship, and I'm implementing the standards and the style of play and philosophy and all that stuff. But when they take ownership over it, they'll fight harder for it. So the first thing I did with them was I wrote mine, and I did like an arrow to ours and then an arrow to yours. So I told them, like, starting off, this is going to be mine. Like, I've got to set everything in place. You guys don't know me. I've got to set these standards. I've got rules. I've got, like, we're going to start every day with rondos. We're going to work, in possess. This is how we're going to play. Pretty soon it's going to be ours. Like, you're going to start taking a little bit of ownership from me. I'm going to start giving you a little bit more ownership. And then hopefully by the end of the season, it's your team. Like, it's your program. And I really do feel like this last season we got to a point, because they'll start coming up to me and go, Coach, I think we need to, like, can we get together and have a little 3v3 tournament? Or can you tell all the girls, like, we want to do a pizza night? Or and that's when I start seeing, like, they're owning the team. Like, they're coming to me with things. Did you see the Champions League game the other day, Real Madrid and
the first one or the second one?
The second one.
Yeah.
So there's all this stuff coming out now.
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, Marcelo and Kroos were on the sideline.
And he's talking to his players.
Yes. And
how many coaches at that level would ever do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some people might. I was watching during the game. I was like, is he talking to the players?
Could they have done that with Grandrella, with Pep? Would Pep have gotten,
I don't know. Probably not. But I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fact that he trusts his players, because you're showing your players that you trust them.
That's true.
And I think I think it's just big for their confidence. And like, have you ever known anybody that owned like a really garbage piece of like a car that's like, you're just like, whoa, that's a terrible car, but they treat it like it's like a Corvette or something.
Oh, they love that car?
They love it.
Yeah.
Because they own it.
I had one of those.
Yeah, me too. Grand Am. My family had like 5 Grand Ams, different ones. But you own, like you bought it. Yeah. You care for it. You own it. And then that guy that has like that really nice car and he just runs it through. Doesn't take care of it. And you're like, someone bought that for you, man. Yeah. Like you haven't worked for that at all.
You don't value it.
So that's really important to me. So that was important early on with the team was like, we're going to do this, but it's going to be on you guys. Like you're going to own it and you're going to fight for it. And I think we got that done this year for sure. So I don't know if that answers your question. But
what was the question? I'm just kidding.
No, but just
like
implementing those things, because at the end of the day, like the soccer is important, obviously, in what we're doing. But I can't even get to how we're going to play until.
Yeah, you don't know how they'll respond on the pitch. And it's not 100% true, but I feel like once the game starts, there's not really much coaching that can be done. It's just all on their habits that they have on the pitch.
Yeah, for sure. And you start seeing those things come out in the game. And you're like, man, they're doing it. Like, that's the best thing as a coach is like when you've worked on things or even things you haven't worked on, but you can just see them starting to express themselves and starting to feel comfortable with the ball at their feet. And, it's happening.
Yeah,
and then you get a big win and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I ran on the field this year. I haven't done that in 15 years. We scored a goal to win the game. And I pulled my hamstring, I think.
Did you really?
Man, all my friends gave me such a hard time. I'm like, we worked so hard for that.
You didn't run when they won at USAO?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a different story. So when we won at USAO, Zach came up and gave me a hug. His shoulder hit me in the jaw. And seriously knocked me out for a second.
Really?
I was out on my feet.
No way.
If you watch the video, and then I'm like back into it,
Yeah,
so I couldn't run. I was knocked out. Were you there?
No, but I got to edit the video for it, and I felt like I was there because I had watched that footage for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, that comes up on my memories every year, and I still can't believe it happened.
It's crazy, and it happened again. Afterwards. So that's wild. Then you were there both times.
Yeah, that run we went on was special when we won the conference tournament title. Just the run. Even after that, we went on for a couple more. We beat Kansas Wesleyan, who hadn't been beaten in 19 games at their place. And then we went to the Sweet 16, but we lost to the team that ended up winning it. But
even just being there, because from my point of view, it's just like, oh, hey, they won. Wow. And it's, they won the next one. Now they're going wherever they're going. Where was it? California or something?
Yeah.
Now they won again, and it's just watching it.
It's like when The Office, when Michael Scott's running around, it's like, no one freak out. That's what we were doing. We were just rolling. Rolling. Yeah, it was awesome.
Nice,
Adam K was along there on that one too.
Yeah, Adam K. He's been back at talking about runs. He's been on a run as well himself with all these good coaching positions. Good luck to him.
He's
going
awesome.
to explain what all he has going on in a previous episode. But He had gotten into the mentality of the position that he's going to be going into now with this USL team, considering how majority of those players are college players that are there in their career. Yeah. So this is like a make it or break it moment. I thought that was so interesting, hearing him talk about that mentality of the team compared to the one at SCU, because it's a college environment. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I thought that was so it's all about the wins at that point, which it is at OC, but on top of that, it's more important. It's like you had said, it's their ship as well.
Yeah.
But at that level, that's his ship.
Yeah, I know, man.
And if you're not winning, you're on the plank.
We are fortunate around here. There's so many good coaches. They're in club, high school, and college right now. Mitch at Oklahoma Christian, Danny, great
MACU.
Coach, Adam. They just need time. They're great at so many things, but they're still young coaches.
They are young.
So I think they have so many good things ahead of them.
Potential.
Yeah,
that's
for
high.
Sure.
Where do you see yourself coaching? I don't want to, you just got to OC, but like, do you see yourself going further than collegiate, or you pretty cool?
I don't think so. Before I took the Oklahoma Christian job, I told my boss at MACU I would never leave.
Yeah.
And then I left, so that was terrible. But I never take things more than just like day by day. And I've never been one to look at the next job. I'm not on the website. Yeah. I don't even know what website you look at job openings. I think this just happened to be a perfect situation. I'm planning on, hopefully we can get things going in the right direction and build something there that's sustainable for a while. And who knows after that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I have maybe a dream type job thing, but I can't even call it a goal right now. It's just so far out.
Yeah, you're working on what you have.
Yeah, I'm just not good enough yet.
Right,
I'm not good enough yet to coach at the level, but I'll get there hopefully.
Yeah, maybe it will come. It's kind of like this job and like Baldo's Bishop McGinnis job. You'll get something that you'll just won't want to pass up.
Well, coaching is like the most humbling thing you can do. You're just constantly, every time you think you're up, just something knocks you back down. You get a big loss or you lose a player or just different things. It's constantly like, man, I'm terrible at this. Like every single day, I'm just awful at this. So it takes that time to just, like him, like you're talking about at McGinnis, you know, they make it a tough loss, or we just got to learn from it and do it differently the next time.
It's year one. Yeah. He's going to have a better year two. And I can't wait. Eventually I will start coaching. I just don't have the time for it yet. I feel like I don't have the opportunity, but I feel like that's how a lot of the coaches start.
Let me tell you why you'll be good at coaching. You're really good with people. Like you have a really good way with people, and that's where coaching is going. I mean, if you can't sit in here and do this and you can't care about people, and I think that you have that kind of heart, you know, because you know soccer. None of this is about knowing soccer. It's about knowing how to influence people and care about people. And you already have those traits. It just, don't do it till you're ready though.
Yeah, no. Well, it's right now it's financially ready, you know. That's really basically what it is. If not, I would love to take a high school and then maybe a club position and then just kind of ride the waves. I think those positions are so cool. And then whenever I got into MACU, watching how Evan Dresel used to do it, I was like, don't they have the best job in the world? Just
people think that. People tell me that, and I'm like, I mean, I do, but it's stressful.
Yeah, it can be. Imagine having 30, 40, 50 just college kids.
Yeah, look at Pep coaching, best coach in the world, right?
Best kids
loses. Everyone talking about how he can't win the big game. Best coach in the world. You know, I mean, coaching is just, everyone has an opinion, and all the people that have an opinion about it don't do it.
That's
not
true.
Coaches. They're
That's
just
true.
like, oh, he can, you know. So it's fun and it's rewarding, but it's like anything else. It's the ups and downs. You just got to be able to deal with them in a public way. Everyone's looking at you.
The results matter.
Yeah, they do matter, but I think as you do it longer, that's why I'm saying those guys, they need time, because as you do it longer, you don't really care about what other people think. Like, I'm just going to do this the way I want to do it. But man, speaking of high school, these high school coaches are amazing. I think, honestly, looking around the landscape of coaching in high school, to me at least, it feels like the best coaches, you know, overall. Because I know, you know, back in the day, it was, you know, you might get someone that's never coached before, and that still happens. But I'm looking at these guys, and then you start seeing them all run at the marathon. Like Neil Hilton, Jared Homer, who else? Eddie Wright. I don't think he's coaching high school, but like,
I've seen a lot of people running the marathon. I feel so bad that I did not join this year. I feel, and sorry to take it to the marathon talk, but that's like the most Oklahoman thing you can do. Every time I do that, I feel like my Oklahomaness is at the top. I love doing the marathon.
Yeah. I try to take my team to the memorial once a year, just to, like, there's things that are bigger than soccer.
Yeah.
You know, and when you start that race at that starting point, and like they got the American flag up, and I mean, there is nothing better than that.
No.
Definitely not when you start running, that feeling goes away real quick. But
when I saw you at the marathon that I did, I think it was in October of last year, you did the half marathon?
I did a relay. So my friend asked me if I'd fill in for a guy, and I got the biggest leg of the relay.
How much was that?
12K, I think.
12K
is 7 miles?
7 miles.
So, you know, I run every day, but I'm not, I don't know. So I got out there, I was ready to get it over with.
That's a different kind of run, though.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how you do it, man.
I don't know how I did it. It was just grit. And then I got a lot of fuel from seeing people out there. You know, people cheering you on, seeing somebody older than me run it, seeing somebody do it in a firefighter outfit run it.
A woman that's pregnant.
Running it.
Passing you.
Did you see the
I
guy
get passed
that did
by
it
pregnant
barefoot?
women.
There was a guy that did it barefoot. I was just like, and I can't do it. It's just like, it's almost like well, this is really what it is. that's how I would keep myself healthy. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't run for nothing for some reason. But the day that I signed myself up for the marathon, I didn't miss a day of running. It's just like, that's the way I just kind of switch it. Like if I'm not playing soccer, I get overweight. Normally what was keeping me healthy every year
old days, huh?
was playing at Western. It's just now, I have different priorities.
Yeah.
But that's basically why I would also do the marathon too. And
do you like to run?
I love it. Something about it. Just running. And it's not the type of runs that you do 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 miles in. Those 4 miles, 5 miles plus mile runs are the ones that I just love to do. Even though it kills me. But after like those 40 minutes, you hit like this place.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I love chasing. I just don't have time. You
do.
I do have time. You're right. I do. I'm just making an excuse.
Man, my dad, sheet metal worker, 40 years. Sometimes working 12 hours a day. Never missed a workout.
No?
I mean, no air conditioning in that place. On his feet, cutting himself on stuff, I think about that, and I'm like, I think I can get out and run.
Yeah.
You just got to try to make time for it. It's tough. It really is. I try to run 3 to 5 miles a day, but it's not fast. I'm getting old. I'm starting to get injuries.
Yeah.
But I just think you got to be
That's my kind
moving.
of run, like an 11-minute mile, 10-minute
like
mile
you're
run.
the kind of guy, you have so many things going on that a run will center you.
Thank you.
You need to run, and you need to think about and process all these things that you're thinking about. And by the end of that run, you're going to have clarity.
I have the best days are my running days. The best days are my running days. But right now, it's editing the podcast.
What's your normal day?
I wake up, well, it depends on what time I wake up, but I have to take my son to pre-K, my daughter to her grandma's, and show up to work at 9. And then I get off at 5. And then it's straight home to do the home stuff. And, my kids are under 5, so we try to be very intentional with the time that they're awake with those few hours that we get. So they're asleep by 9, 10. No, if it's 9, that's a perfect day. Yeah, right. But it's 9, 10, 11, and then 11 is where I start the editing process. And if I get into a good flow, hopefully I can work for an hour or 2 or 3. And
dude, get yourself moving every day.
I have to, because when you stop moving, you die.
When you go to the zoo and you look around, all the animals, they look depressed, right?
They do.
Why is that?
Because they're not moving.
They're not moving.
Yes.
If you don't move during the day, your mind's going to move at night.
Yes.
It's going to be just, you got to move. Get out there and move.
I need to. I'm going to.
You can do it. I've seen you run, man.
Yeah.
Anybody that can step out like a day before the marathon and just get after it. I've never even ran a marathon. I've ran a half, but I ran the half and I was like, how would I ever be able to run that again to do a full marathon? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I believe in you, man.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you. You know what gets me running is listening to do you know David Goggins?
Yes.
That guy.
Stay hard.
Gets me to run.
Callous your mind. Right? Have you read his book?
Yes.
Yeah. It's hard though, right?
It is. That's life.
But his normal day, think about what his normal day is. It's insane.
It is insane.
You know what I mean? Like, I try to make my normal day. I want that to be better than someone's best day.
What's an insane day for Dresel?
So, here's my day. Every morning, wake up, cold shower.
Really?
Boom, hit it. Start taking cold showers.
Okay.
Just, you can.
Okay.
That's the reason why you're doing it. Cold shower.
Okay.
Get the kids ready. I read 10 pages, nonfiction.
After you wake them up or before you wake them up?
I wake them up and I get them going on some TV.
Oh, that's okay.
So I'm thinking about myself and not my kids.
Okay.
Just kidding. So I get in and and then somewhere in there, it's a 5-mile run at some point.
In the morning?
Just whenever I can get it. Like I ran before I came here. And I mean, I'm not for me physically, but like just mentally, man, just got to do it. And then just working all day, and then you just try to start stacking all these things up. But I was telling my wife the other day, I really think this, like we're always after like temporary happiness. So we're always like grabbing that next burger or or whatever it is. We're always chasing that social media.
I get what you're saying. It's like this quick hit of dopamine. It's like a quick satisfaction, and then you start to realize that those quick, short satisfactions aren't really the satisfactions
They're not
that
lasting.
you go for. They're not long lasting.
But listen to this: go for short, temporary suffering.
Yes.
Or hard stuff, lasting happiness. So it's the other way around. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where because man, I've been lost a lot, like in my life, like just anxiety and things like that. But I think the more I've picked up on those things of just like finding a way to kind of put yourself through some things during the day, I'm just happier.
It's the suffering and that step 5. It's the runs.
Yeah.
That
jump in a cold shower.
Jump in a cold shower.
Yes. You're gonna hate it.
Okay.
Try it. When you wake up in the morning, get in a cold shower.
My showers are so hot that the water is almost steaming as it touches me. That's the
Take
kind of
a hot shower. Just do it later in the day. It's just gonna build that. It's gonna build like jumping in the callus.
Yeah.
It's an easy way to do it.
It's a quick way to get up, man. And then, what's his name? Jocko.
Yes.
Waking up at 4 a.m. is something that I would love to do.
I'm not doing that. His normal day is better than mine.
That one's just crazy. Yeah, don't go that way. Okay.
You know what else I started doing?
Huh.
This is gonna sound so sloppy. Making my bed.
Making your bed? I love that one.
Yes.
I love that one. I love that one.
Make your bed. Like, that's what I do in the morning. That's the other thing. Just make my bed.
That's a different type of
We started doing that, me and my wife.
There's a ballroom next door.
Quinceañero going on?
I don't know. It might be. There's some good bachata going on right now next door. Hopefully the mics don't pick it up. No, they'll probably will.
What is that over there?
It's a room that people rent to have parties.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I guess this is part of the fruits of doing it Friday at 7 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
You should have done it from in there.
Right? Just, I want to take this mobile and start mobilely interviewing people.
Yeah.
That'd be the next level of this podcast. My test run will be at Western.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Taking it out there and recording.
How is it out there? I've never played out there.
I haven't. You've never played at Western?
No.
Why do I find that hard to believe? I'm pretty sure you've had people try to bribe you to play too.
I don't know, man. I should have.
You still
I still
can?
could.
Yeah. What I do think there needs to be is a league that's out. There probably is. Over 30s, over 40s.
Yeah.
That's out in Edmond and Norman that they have those, don't they?
Yeah, and just try not to get injured.
That's the key, because if I get hurt, I can't make money.
And if you get hurt, it takes a lot longer now.
It does.
To get over the injury.
It does.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I've never played out there.
Mm.
I've coached out there.
Mm-hmm.
We did the not the Imps. You know Dustin Hooker,
Mm-hmm.
friends with Adam, coached he had a team early on called Pulse that he kind of started, and it kind of ended up being the Imps, I think.
Okay, tell me
But
about
we
the
played
Imps
some scrimmage teams.
Uh-huh.
We scrimmaged some teams.
Some Western teams?
I think so. There was a tree growing over the field on one of the fields.
Yes, there is.
And if it hits
this is
amazing.
It's still in.
It's a 1-2.
Yeah, and basically
Bounce it off and go.
Yeah.
Combination play.
That place is special to us. That's where my dad played, and that's where I eventually ended up playing on his team, and then my dad would go watch me play on the team.
Do you know Chucky?
Chucky?
Yes. Little Chucky.
Yes.
Played for me in club. Mm-hmm. So I started coaching this 98 team. It's Brantley Bice, Zach's son, his team. And when I took the team, I asked Kit Stevenson, who was coaching Crooked Oak at the time, I said, man, you got to find me.
Maybe if I turn up the volume on right here. I can definitely hear the music. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It kind of sounds like we're mobile.
How's that? Oh, this is terrible. Oh, well, I'm not going to think about it too much.
Yeah, let's just keep it going.
All right. Chucky?
Whoa, that's loud.
Yeah. How's that?
It's good.
Perfect. Chucky.
So I said, Kit, I'm coaching this, 13-year-old boys team. Do you know of any? I need some like Hispanic players to come in and give me some, spice it up. And I got this little guy. His name's Chucky. And I'm like, his name's Chucky. He's got to be good. Get him out here.
You're thinking the doll? Like,
yes. So this guy comes out. He's been playing on his dad's
Western team.
Yeah. He's like 12, 13 years old. He's like
tearing it up, huh?
And he was amazing. I went and drove and picked that guy up for every practice. Him and Cesar Gallegos, Daniel's brother. I picked those guys up. And Gustavo. So that was around here. They all lived around here.
Yeah.
And we'd go. But Chucky, man, he played with his dad. Mexican League.
He's still out there playing too. He's really good.
He's really good.
And I think he even had his run with the under-23s at Energy as well.
Oh, really?
A little bit too.
Yeah, that's good.
You had brought up the Imps. There's so much background right now. It's blowing my mind. You started Imps, right?
I didn't start the Imps. So we did Pulse. Adam played on that team, and I kind of coached it. I helped get some players out there and stuff like that. The Imps, because there was an Energy PDL team. Chris Spinlove coached that team, and I helped him for about 2 weeks. And then me and Zach got the offer to coach Oklahoma City FC. So I left, went and did that. And then that Energy team, I think, ended up I think they did a U23 deal, and then I think Dustin branched off and did the Imps, which they're still doing now.
And it's been going really good.
Yeah, it's
Shout
awesome.
out to the Imps.
It's a great local team for sure. So it's good that we have that, and we have Oklahoma City FC. So
it's getting worse, huh? This is
I
amazing.
feel like they're in here with us.
I think they know that this is getting on their nerves and just going harder.
I'm totally fine with it.
I'm surprised they're going so early. It's barely 7 o'clock. They should be eating dinner. The party doesn't start till 8. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, well. We'll just go with it today.
Yeah,
Add a little spice to the podcast.
Yeah, I love it.
From the Imps, though, how long did you coach at the Imps? Tell me a little bit more about the Imps, because you said it's a local team.
Yeah, I never coached with the Imps.
You didn't coach with
No.
the Imps.
So I kind of, me and Zach coached Oklahoma City FC for 4 summers. And then I was the technical director for Oklahoma City FC for a couple summers. And then this is my first summer not doing anything with that team. But the Imps, just because I know Dustin and Adam and all that, they started that.
Oh, okay. I get confused because Adam told me that. That's where I'm getting confused. He came along at MACU for a little bit, and then from there also jumped at the Imps.
Yes.
So that's where I thought you guys
Adam
were
was
connected.
our GA/assistant coach at MACU for 2 or 3 years. Dustin helped us as well. And that's really where you saw a big change. Kind of from that point on, we had help finally. They're great recruiters. Adam runs a great session. He's a great coach. I think all of us working together was great. That's when we went on that run, Sweet 16, all that stuff.
Do you think that's what you ran into, is you realized that you probably needed a little bit more help? Or
Yeah, I didn't realize how much I was doing coaching 2 teams until I just coached 1. And I was like, how do we do this with 2 teams?
No kidding.
So we needed more help. A lot of times one of our teams would be good and the other one would struggle. A lot of times it was the girls doing well and the guys would struggle a little bit. You just don't have the energy to do it.
No, I couldn't. I mean, you guys are out there literally all day, 2 sessions.
I was coaching clubs, so I'd go women's soccer practice, men's soccer practice, head out to Norman at the time. I was coaching at Norman, coach 2 sessions. It's like 6 straight hours of just training. And I was exhausted for sure. And I enjoyed coaching men's soccer, but I was mad all the time. Like for whatever reason with guys are just...
You felt like you could probably just take it out on them a little bit more than you could on a girl.
Yeah,
maybe.
it wasn't them, it was me. My personality, I think, lends itself better to coaching women. And that's why I ended up taking the women's team. But once I just started coaching one team, I told Zach, I thought, man, why did we not do this sooner? Because it's a lot. I mean, Hampton's still doing it. At USAO, still coaching 2 teams. I think Billy Martin at OC is doing it. I don't know how they do it, man. And Hampton's been doing it forever.
I've heard a lot of this guy Hampton. I need to talk to Hampton. It'd be nice
if you can get him in.
You think he'd come on?
He's a legendary coach, man. I really have watched him from afar, try to pick up things, from him. But he's been coaching USAO for... I played against them whenever I played at SNU, so he's been there forever.
Dang, and then you played against him as a coach as well.
Yeah. And we call it getting Hamptoned.
Getting Hampton.
So... Hampton, to me, one of the best coaches I've ever seen about getting the most out of what he has. So he could have a really talented team, they're going to overachieve. He could have a team that's down that year, they're going to overachieve. And so you get in these games with them, and you might even have the better team, but you just see your team like, we're getting Hamptoned. Like, how is this happening? How is he doing this?
Yeah.
And we've beaten him a couple of times, but...
Those aren't easy ones.
You know it from the sideline. You're like, it's happening. Like, we're falling into this trap. He's getting us. And you just can't stop it. You're not playing. You can't stop it. So if you could get him in, he'd probably be interesting.
Yeah, I'd like to pick his brain.
Yeah.
Do you have any other influences as a coach? Like, who's other coaches that you're picking at? Maybe one big one, a mentor.
Man, I was lucky. My coach growing up, Austin Hudson, was... For the time, I mean, there was a lot of good coaches around here for that time in Oklahoma, but I was lucky to have him. He's a big influence. Matt Fancher was another coach. He coached Garrett. George Schrader coached me at Mustang, so we were lucky. And we had another coach there, Coach McGarry, that was a cross-country coach, but he was awesome. So I just had good influences like that. My basketball coach was amazing that I played for and stuff. But after...
You did basketball?
Come on. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
For
you ever
real?
seen Nick Collison play?
Yeah, I love that guy.
That's me.
That's you right there? Just big.
Can't shoot. But I'll take charges.
In the post?
I'll make stills. I was decently athletic. I was more athletic than Nick Collison probably, but yeah, that was me. Dirty work.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
I was terrible in high school. I have combined 8 points my whole high school career.
Let's not bring that up.
2 3-pointers. I'm proud of those. Don't
Really?
take my 8 points away from me.
Dude, that's awesome. But really, besides my dad and all like the men in my family, I mean, Zach was probably the biggest influence I've had, like from a male figure for sure. I think that men need mentors. Like we need mentors, and if I didn't have him grounding me, there's no telling.
That guy is something else, man.
He's amazing.
He is amazing.
But he could give me a little look. He was so bad about like calling me out. He wouldn't like just directly like, what do you know? But there was a way he might talk to me or something. I go, I'm under Zach's skin.
I did it.
I need to do better.
Yeah.
So he was massive for me, for sure. I do think when we split, it was good for both of us, though. I think when we were coaching together, we could only be like half of ourselves. You know, I was always a little bit more stern. He was always, you know, Zach's the best guy ever.
It was like Batman and Robin in the college days.
And so I don't think the players knew like there was another side to me. They're like, you're a little bit nicer than I thought you were. I'm like, we had our roles, you know, so we stayed in those lanes, but we're still together quite a bit, getting coffee. And
it was like a breakup, huh?
It happened so good, though. Like, he took a great job, and then I got to coach the women for a couple years, and then so.
There could be a TV show made off that. Just
dude, there was a lot of times at MACU, I thought, if there was a camera on us right now, just us and our team, like, it would be great TV.
Tell me a great TV moment, because there's many. There's many. You've probably had many.
Man,
TV
just,
moments.
It's, especially those early teams, the characters that were on the team.
Oh, some great characters.
I mean, that very first team, I think we, like, you probably don't know him, but Bryce Jantz and
I've heard stories from.
And then Kyle Miller, you had him on, and we had these guys that were like, they were just great. I mean, they're just funny.
I had Miller, Abini, Mendoza, Gallegos.
Wow.
Willie.
Wow.
Webster. My favorite. No, what was his name? Jeremiah Huff.
Huff and Puff.
Pezant. Like, everybody was Casey King.
Yeah.
I'm missing so many people. Brian, the German.
There would just be things that would happen. Like, you remember the general?
Yes.
The goalkeeper?
Yes.
Austin. So, I've just come from SNU, right? Like, we're a winning program. Final Four. Played with amazing players. I come over here, and we're scrimmaging. He had this haircut straight down on the side and, like, bangs.
I think I've seen the picture.
And I'm like, what am I doing? And so, but he's really good. Yeah. He's amazing, but he's just kind of weird, you know?
Shot stopper.
Which is how we would get people at MACU. They'd be good, but they'd just fly under the radar somehow, you know?
Yeah.
And so we're scrimmaging one day, like a couple practices in, and the ball's on the other end of the field, and Zach's like, look at our goalkeeper. Like, we don't know him that well at this point. He's like, look at our goalkeeper. He's down there, like, sitting Indian style in the box, just like picking weeds. And I'm like, what is this? What is he doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was just stuff like that all the time, man. Just,
there was.
And it's endearing. Like, you look back on it now, maybe in the moment you'd be like, oh,
what's going on?
But now you look back. I told Zach a couple years ago, I'm like, man, I miss those days. I don't think we really slowed down and like enjoyed the people we were around enough. But it just goes. I mean, then we had like Chongo and
Martin and everybody,
Gallegos,
and Sergio and all those guys.
Just some amazing players too. I mean, even like Puyo and you know, you guys were all there and came through. And then
my freshman year, we had a good squad. That it was me, Boyo, Benny, TJ, Irvin, Reese was almost gonna be there as well. Like that whole freshman
Reese
squad
was almost there.
The monsters.
Well, you know, we have a lot of amazing players that came through MACU, but Gallegos and Chongo are probably like my two that I'm like,
your
those
Mount
guys.
Rushmore. They're the two in there.
Don't get me into a Mount Rushmore. I've already seen you do that with a few people. I almost wrote a list out
just in case.
And I thought, man, if I leave someone off the list, it's even worse.
Yeah.
So and that's lame. But no, they're just amazing.
Yeah.
Like the way that Gallegos, his vision, the way he'll just like turn his hip, just kind of chop one through.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just amazing.
I remember seeing a through ball that he had given somebody on a rainy pitch out in, I forgot where we were playing. And he basically got the ball, rolled it, and just flicked it right on top of everybody to a through ball to somebody. And we were just like, what is this guy doing?
And it's so natural.
That's what it is. It's just there's a flow. It doesn't look unnatural. It doesn't look like it's not supposed to be there, even though, you know, for someone else, you'd be like, what are you doing?
That's where we're missing right now in the U.S. is that kind of natural, instinctive way of playing the game. We just don't. The Hispanic culture, to me, does it because, you grow up, you're just playing. You're playing with your dad. You're playing with, your brother's playing on ISA Field 3, but you're over on Field 1, and it's all so natural. But we've gotten these kids into just everything's so organized now, and everything's so coached. And
it's turned into such a service.
Yeah, and then you watch our national team play, and it's like, they play that way. It's just,
think so?
Yeah. I mean, it's my favorite team out of anything I support, but I mean, sometimes I'd rather watch, like we play Honduras or something. I'm actually enjoying the way they play a little bit better, or, just watching the more natural way of playing. But that's how those guys played, man. Willie, Gallegos, Chongo blew my mind when he was there. He only played for a season, but
that's just enough. I think wasn't that a Florida season?
Yeah,
the Florida season.
Florida season. It was that. I'm trying to remember. We went so many times now. That first, was that when we played Indiana Wesleyan?
I wasn't there, but Miller was telling me that was the first one that they had gone to, and that after that, it's kind of like they had blood in their mouth. He famously says, free trip to Florida. That's basically all what we wanted.
Yeah, we were there, and
Tiago was there.
Okay, it was that trip then. So Tiago was a basketball player. And he's huge.
Yeah, right? You can't miss him.
Of course, he's Brazilian. He's like, I played soccer. I want to come out. We're like, we could use him on set pieces, corners, late in the game, something. So he didn't get to play that much, but so we take him to Florida. He's like, let me go to Florida. we take him to Florida, right? We're in our room. It's the day of the game. We look down at the hot tub. Tiago's got his arms around like two freshman guys. They're in the hot tub, lounging. We're talking like a couple hours before the game.
Wow.
Oh, Tiago, man. They're like going down the slide.
Yeah, it's not like he can hide either. He's almost
he's
7
got his
foot
sunglasses
tall.
on. He is living. It's like the trip of his life. And but he again, like now it's like, man, it's so funny that and those guys. We had so many guys come through that had that character. It kind of just brings a grin to your face.
Yeah, it's crazy to think of the things that went on. And you said it best a while ago. It's like, who knows if that would ever go on now, Yeah,
I don't know. And Zach, because of how Zach is, he was like a really good recruiter. He had this way of just like going out and finding some kid that flew under the radar that was good, or going out and find like Kyle Miller that's in a certain situation where he's trying to get back into playing or whatever. Like on the women's team, we had Julia Nimmel, who was a stud, and I think he watched her at like the All-State game, and he just went up and talked to her, and sure enough, like she come, and that those kind of players help change the program, but he just had this way of like sniffing people out, and Kevin Cabello is another guy. Like Kevin played at Midwestern State, he left. He's Big Mike's cousin.
Big Mike's everybody's cousin, but
so that's what happens when you start having Mexicans on your team, right? Like you're like, that's my cousin. You're like, dude,
he plays soccer.
Get him in. Let's go.
Big Mike showed up at MACU after an SCU run.
Yeah. And he's great, right? Like, and then now Kevin's like a mailman, and I think he delivers mail in Zach's neighborhood sometimes. So just funny. Pop in and hang out. But he was a legit player.
He is a legit player.
You're just like, how did he end up here? You know what I mean? So we were lucky. We were lucky to have all those guys and girls. We had so many different players that
the ones
could play.
When I was there, Rachel was there. Yeah. The one that would impress me, Nicole. I loved the way Nicole would play.
Nicole Farquhar.
So simple. Yeah,
like Lindsay Neer was another one that was like a forward, and we made her into a center back. So she goes in, and then she plays next to Rachel. Rachel's great. And then you get Julia, you get Cassie, all these. Dude, they're doing like Taibo or something over there.
Are they really?
No, I'm just kidding.
No, now I'm starting to think it's a Zumba class. That's what they got going on. Let me make sure this camera's recording. I am sure this is a Zumba class they're doing over there. Oh, well.
I feel like we should have like a couple of those little weights.
We might have to.
And just while we're going, just get a little workout in.
This is the beauty of being in Calle 25 down in Southwest 25th
I love
Street.
this part of town.
It's getting revitalized. They have a grand plan where they're going to build a little plaza in the center as well. Kind of have it a Hispanic-ish feel, but everything's moving up here. I feel like this could be the next 16th Street.
That's awesome.
Northwest 16th Street.
Yeah, I'm driving through here. My grandpa used to take us to Coney Island for some chili dogs.
Now different. Fiesta de las Americas is really nice, and I think the people that run this here are actually having a big salsa dance party downtown right now.
Oh, really?
For Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, everything's.
Are you
going up
guys
here.
still doing Futbol Factory? All the stuff?
We are. Well, this is part of it, but we are this summer going to start Sunrise Soccer, June
Good.
1st, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, because every day it's a lot on us now, and we
What time y'all start?
6 a.m.
Oh man, we train at 6 a.m.
Uh-huh.
This past season. First time I've ever trained in the morning at college. Wow,
It's different.
it's tough,
It's tough,
but you get it knocked out, and then you get through the rest of your day, and But I actually kind of liked it, but it's tough,
there was a beauty to it,
especially if
and
you're working the rest of the day.
Yeah, but there's nothing better than getting that run early in the morning.
Yeah,
And that's why it was given its name Sunrise Soccer, because we were training as the sun would rise. So as we were warming up, that sun is starting to peak. And then just being awake when everything turns on is a different type of energy. So whether it was wet, feeling the warmth of the sun coming and the coolness going away, it just turned into something crazy. We had up to 100 kids the second year that we did it.
that's incredible.
Just by volunteering. And the way we started was we wanted to prep high school players going into that fall season at any college.
Yeah.
Because that summer is pivotal. Don't
Yeah.
take off. Let's keep that fitness that you have in high school and roll it into that with 6 people, and then it just blew up. So yes, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 6 a.m. at Wheeler Park. We're going to bring back Sunrise Soccer.
Man, you know what I think it is? You guys have a lot of passion about what you do. People will get behind passionate people.
Yeah.
So the fact that you guys have put that much into your community, it's going to give, you never know, out of those 100 kids or whatever, you got that one kid that just got like, man, I want to be like that guy. And then it grows into something, who knows what that next player is going to be.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the kids that we've had have gone on to do good things. A girl that we had that was a baller is Perla Beltran. She's at OC now.
She
too, I
did.
think.
She was. She's not now, but yeah, she's amazing.
Amazing player. Yeah.
She just had a hard time, I think, with just college is different.
It is different.
And I think she's an amazing player, man. I was heartbroken, but I think she just needed to figure some things out or whatever. And I keep telling her, like, you need to get back in play somewhere. Like, you're so good. But she had those glasses. She stopped wearing the glasses. She got contacts, but man, she's great. She's an amazing player. But you'll get more kids that want to do, go on to play college or whatever, play professionally. So especially these guys. What was the guy's name that you said that played for Tulsa?
Chavez. Yeah, the guy that we're going to have on.
Yeah, you get those guys coming back in and being around the kids, and it gives them something to look to. And
yeah, luckily now I feel like we're going to be getting a lot of help. We've had a lot of people reach out and just be like, hey, I would love to volunteer, and that's just something that we didn't have to begin with. And
dude,
now
I would love to come out there and
let's do it.
Let's do it. Give back, really.
Let's do it. And then you have a June camp as well. By the time this comes out, your camp will be that weekend.
Oh, really?
Tell me a little bit about the Nike camp that you have coming up.
Yeah, we've got this, it's a youth camp. We're going through Nike. It's going to be, we have a lot of kids that are getting into it, but I'm excited about it. We're doing like an all-day camp. So it's, 9 to noon in the morning, and then they have lunch, and then it's 1 to 3 in the afternoon. It's just training for 4 straight days. But we really are trying to put we have a lot of people that help us that are good people. So we're trying to make it like an elite type camp
program.
Yeah.
Is it residential? Not residential?
No, not residential. We're not doing that yet. I think that we haven't been there long enough to kind of
put your foot down like that.
Because me and Mitch went over there at the same time. So he left MACU and went there, and then I came, a few weeks later. So we're still kind of, there's certain things that we're figuring out.
Yeah, you have to see how far you can.
Man, I would love to get, players. It's out by Edmond, but we'd love to get players from down this way.
Yeah, you let us know, and we'll plug some over there, send something.
Yeah, so is this something that we were talking earlier, like you're gonna roll with this and this podcast? And
I don't see myself stopping. I don't know. That's one of the questions my wife asks me with anything that I do. Is like, how far are you going to take this? Many tones. But I love this. I don't see myself stopping. So I'll see how far this takes me, really.
Yeah, you just got to keep plugging away, man. Yeah. And then it might lead to something else.
Basically. And
which kind of has happened for you a little bit, right? You're doing the drones, and then you were...
drones and this, and then working on the media, and I could produce a podcast for somebody now if I wanted to, or if they wanted to, if somebody wanted to hire me. There's so many different things. This being rolled into the football factory stuff, being rolled into the camps, and I don't know, man. I feel like we're building something here.
This is Moss football, though, right?
More soccer.
More soccer.
Mm-hmm.
So soccer's driving it.
Basically. Yeah, you had mentioned earlier, like, maybe eventually you'll run out of people to talk to. I don't think I will. I would love to have players, coaches, parents, sons, daughters, mothers, fathers. Everybody has a soccer story.
Yeah,
and
everyone's got that, like, unique journey, too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you think about your journey, you think about mine. We're just, like, two people.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many, like, just in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many with colleges and high schools and clubs, and yeah, I guess you won't.
Mm-mm.
You won't run out of them.
I don't think so. The only thing that I should not do is just lose that spark that I started it with. That curiosity of just like wanting to learn something new. So like I take every conversation as an opportunity to learn something.
Yeah.
Nothing do I take lightly, because here I am today sitting with the head coach of the women's college program.
Yeah.
And that's huge, you know, and even if it's a high school player, that's huge too. I take everybody serious, attack everybody with the same curiosity, and like you said about your OC team, this is their ship. I see this as the community ship. You know what I'm saying? This is an opportunity for someone to tell their story, to market themselves, and basically just to grow on this community, you know?
Yeah, I think that the community is where we've got to get better.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everything's so fractured, and you know, there's this club and that club, and no one's working together, and everyone's competing, which you have to have competition.
Yeah.
But man, that's what I like about our futsal stuff too. At Sports House is like we've got kids in from everywhere, and I don't even know who they play for half the time. I'm like, oh, you play for who? Just come in, train, let's get after it. Do you play at Energy? You play at South Lakes? You know, that's how we're gonna get better. But that's what I've enjoyed about that too, is just kind of not being tied down to anything, any one thing. We just have people from the community coming together.
Yeah. Your brother Garrett told me that one of the things he struggles with all this coaching is how to divide his roles amongst different coaching, whether it's futsal, outdoor, little kids, older kids, dealing with parents, and now in the role that he's in, he's just dealing with all kinds of things. He's stuck to futsal, but how do you deal with going with college, going with youth, and then dealing with, what's your daughter's team's name again?
Rainbow Unicorns.
Yeah, the serious one, Rainbow Unicorns.
Not to get like philosophical with this, but if you think about like who you want to be, and you're just like that across everything that you do, I think it kind of takes care of itself. Like I try to tell my team that quite a bit. Like think about who you want to be and not what you want to be. Like who do you want to be as a person? Like I try to think about that quite a bit in how I coach. So the way that I approach an OC 6:00 a.m. session, I don't approach the Rainbow Unicorn session any differently. We do different things, but I approach it with the same passion, the same planning. I plan everything. Then I go out to futsal. I'm going to walk into the gym, and as soon as I walk across that line, you're going to get the same passion, the same everything. So I just try to do that across everything, and, you know, try to be punctual and try to be prepared and try, you know, all those things. But it's helped me to kind of stay consistent. But I also, if I feel like I'm doing too much, I cut something out. Like my soccer has never been, always been on my terms. So I've, you know, like I said before, I was coaching 2 club teams and 2 college teams, and it was just too much. I just cut it out. Then we went into futsal, and that's something that I was really wanting to do. So we went into something I wanted to do. And that's kind of, I think it's helped me stay fresh. Just, I don't feel like I've got to do the normal path of a coach. Like if I'm going to do this, I want to do what I love to do. And that's helped me stay like fresh. I mean, there's times you get burned out, but man, I'm more energetic now than I've been my entire career. And I just think it's like I've learned to cut some things out, and I've learned to focus on like what I love to do. Like that, the futsal it's a passion project for us. Like all this is for you. You're probably not killing it money wise.
Nope.
But I also think that makes your work better. Like our work over at our gym is incredible, but I'm not doing it for a check. I mean, I've made hardly any money off of it. I'm doing it for the love of it and for, you know,
the impact and everything that it does for it. Because futsal is in a funny spot in Oklahoma City. Like I feel like it needs to be a lot bigger, but you can't get there without doing what you guys are doing right now. With all the futsal courts that are around in the city and how open and free it is for everybody to play, like I don't see why this can't be a big futsal city.
Man, when we have right now we have soccer players that are playing futsal.
Mm-hmm.
When we become a country where futsal players transition into soccer
Mm-hmm.
is when you will see the game change.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people think futsal, a lot of people that don't really know what it is, they think it's street soccer,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not. Like, go to a futsal tournament, you'll be blown away.
Yeah.
The amount of defending you have to do, for one. Like, if you don't defend, if everyone on the court doesn't defend, if there's one person not defending, you're getting
Mm-hmm.
scored on. It's like if you played basketball and you were defending with 4 people and
Mm-hmm.
the other guy was down the end of the court.
But it almost is like chess.
Yeah, and the movement, and it's simple play all the time. It's not like you don't see a bunch of guys on the ball like trying to do tricks. So it's got this, because it's new, people don't really know. It's getting bigger, but when people really put their focus into that at a young age, and that leads into, that's when you're going to see a change. And when they start going out to these courts and playing with no one telling them what to do, and you got to win to stay on the court, and you got, like they do in other countries, you know, that's why basketball, like, look at these guys that are NBA players. Where do you think they grew up playing when they were little?
On the courts, trying to beat people off the courts, staying on the courts.
And at some point, 12, 13 years old, they get into a more organized, but they've already got all that foundation and that instinct from just playing. Like, we just don't play enough. We're so worried about, like, you know, we got to teach these kids everything. Just let them play.
I want to say that, but I would always defend that there are kids out there doing that, because we would always get together and play at some basketball court down here. There are kids out there, but there needs to be more. And what you said reminded me of the interview I had with Rodrigo from MACU, that they don't transition into outdoor until they're 12, 11. And before then, it's just pure futsal.
Yeah.
And then he said, then we transition outdoor. And I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, probably the most freaky, talented player that I coached at MACU was Peterson. He had so many knee injuries and stuff. He only played like 10 to 15 games, if that, for us. And then Gleitzen was very good. And Rafa is probably one of the best individual talents, you know. But if you watch those guys play futsal, it's magic. You don't even know what's going on. What is happening? But then you see them play the game, and you see it translate into the game. And we just have that. You're right, though. I think the Hispanic community, in my opinion, they start off so fast out of the gate when it comes to player development, because they just play so much. They're just constantly playing. So when you see like a 7-8-year-old Hispanic kid from 29th Street that's like
just zigzagging through people,
you're just like, how does he know how to do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then you put him in a club setting where it's like, this is our formation and this is our tactics, and sometimes you get that deer in the headlight look, like, what?
Man, what I believe is, like, developing soccer players is like a funnel. So like when you put oil in your car, like that funnel you put it in, when it starts up here, there's a lot going on. Like, but as you get older, it gets more refined, and it kind of gets pushed into a certain spot. I think that Hispanic Mexican players from around here have that funnel the right way. It's just the very end where we're kind of missing that last piece. Like, what's the right time to get them in a more organized situation and push them on? I think a lot of, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, like white players or, you know, American kids around here, they start with the funnel upside down. So we're constantly, parents, coaches, trying to make them be good when they're 5 or 6, 7 years old.
When it should be
and then
more
when they
free.
get older, that's when they get lost. And so we don't have that, we're not finding that right balance. But I think if we can, you know, and something that you guys hopefully can do with what you're doing at some point is, and I'd love to help with this as well, is like, how do we get these kids that are so talented,
bridge those gaps? Or I think a lot of it has to do with the knowledge too, or being, I don't want to say ignorant, but like being aware of what is out there. Because I guess I can bring up a situation where, you know, dad has kids, his friends play soccer, and they get all their kids to play, and eventually that team turns into something. And then what we end up seeing is that, you know, a few of them start transitioning into the funnel, you know, the club scene, and then that team dwindles away. And a lot of people like to do that individually, you know, a lot of individual Southside teams, and then, you know, the club scene. And you're right, like, at what point do we bridge that gap, or how do we go about making a good formula to make this go about it the best way? Maybe we don't create clubs, maybe we have affiliate programs, or I don't know, but I feel like with some knowledge of what's going on, because my parents, for club, they were like, nah, we're not paying that much for you to. And it's not about that. It's if you want to be elite, you have to surround yourself around the best.
Yeah.
And if you're not in those situations, then you're just, when you go play club, you're going to get hit in the mouth. You know, it's just, you're going to be shocked.
Well, we've just, in this country, we've taken a lower class sport and made it into an upper class sport. And it's not an upper class sport. That's why the rest of the world plays soccer. Because I could, you know, probably in medieval times they were probably using someone's head or something. Like you just whatever rolls, man, you can use it. Tape a ball together, whatever it is. And we've turned it into this money machine that we're just like, if Leo Messi grew up over here with what his parents made, he never would have made it. You know what I mean? He grew up in the right place where they just have it right there. They just have, you know, the way they grow up playing the game. And we've just missed out on that because we've made it such a money thing. And I think that's where people around here and stuff struggle too, is like, it's a lot of money to be able to, you know, and you need, some people just don't have it.
No.
You know, we were lucky enough on the teams I played it for, and my parents did well, but, you know, 3 kids going through club soccer, we had people that helped us out and things like that, but we've just made it. I just can't believe the amount of money people spend on soccer.
It's ridiculous, huh?
Yeah, I mean, go on YouTube and watch videos, and you can teach yourself. You don't have to spend all that money.
Yeah, no. But we get back to playing in elite levels, you know, the best, you know, the leagues traveling out of state every other day. And I think a part of it is just how big the United States is. Yeah. You know, compared to like a Germany or a Spain that's the size of one state and everything is so nuclear. Here it's just that everything is so spread out. So maybe if we focus it down maybe on the state level, city level.
No, I think, you know, to me, we're just the most inefficient country in the world in developing players. We have the most resources, the most athletes, the most, you know, but I do think the size of the country, that all that stuff is difficult to navigate. But you're right. I mean, like, that's what we look about with our futsal stuff too, is like, let's just see what happens. Just plant the seed. I don't even care if they're playing. I want them to come into our gym. I just want you playing futsal. Like, I just want, go play on a tennis court or something. Like, go find a hard piece of court and just play. But we're just trying to spread the knowledge and the word of it. We used to do those little, did you ever see us doing that before the energy games?
Which ones?
So we'd have energy games in they had a little court right next to the
Tap
field.
Stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'd go out there and run little like futsal
Sessions?
games.
Nice.
So me and Garrett, Kit, someone else put a team together, and I let Rafa put a team together with, you know, Gouveia played at SCU, Brazilian, and then like 3 other Brazilians, and we played against them, and it didn't go well.
Paulo's traumatized by some Brazilian guy named Maga is his name. I think he played at SCU. He said that whenever that guy got the ball, there was just nothing that guy can do. I mean, nothing he can do against the guys.
Do you remember Jeffa?
Jeffa, no.
He played at SCU.
Another one?
It's mind-boggling. You can't even explain it. But they just grew up with the ball. They just play with the ball. That's why I'm trying, like you see that video of my daughter doing the, like, she wants to play every night.
Does she? That's awesome.
And some nights I don't want to. I'm like, oh, God, I mean, this is what I always wanted. Like, I got to go play. But we spend 5 minutes on maybe doing a touch drill or something. The rest of the night, we're just playing. Just put some chairs out.
That's when you learn.
Yeah, my wife's a great player too, so we have a little 2v2 with me and my daughter and my son and my wife, so we just gotta play, man.
Who's the most competitive out of the 4?
And my daughter.
Your daughter?
Listen what happened last night. My wife is talking trash to my daughter. My daughter's on my team. She's 5. My wife is talking trash to her, and it's getting under Ryan's skin. That's my daughter. And she goes and no, don't be yelling at me like that. No. And then she'll walk back to me and she'll start whispering in the mirror. She's like, all right, next we're gonna, you spread out and go. And then my wife will say something. And then she'll come back and she can. She's going from screaming to whispering.
She's sharp, just switching it.
Man, I don't know what to do, man. But she is. I think my wife's the most competitive out of all of us. Yes. Yeah.
That's funny.
She won't. I try to meg her all the time.
No.
You do that with your wife?
No.
Your wife play?
No, she doesn't.
Man,
doesn't play.
My wife was a defender.
Yeah. That must make her mad all the time. So now every time she walks by, you probably have it traumatized. She just scoots a little bit.
No one takes steps in my house. It's all like
Be
scooting
careful,
around.
yeah.
Because we have this little rule in my house where we'll clean up the house, we'll clean up the toys, but we never clean up all the balls on the floor.
No, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's just there's always a ball to play with or whatever. But yeah, man, it's definitely in my house. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. My daughter is just.
She might be a coach. Who knows?
She's bossy enough.
Yeah.
For sure. But I mean, it's been cool seeing you guys have kids and.
Yeah, everybody now has kids. I have kids. Miller has kids. Andy has kids.
How many Miller have? One?
Just one for now.
Really?
I think, yeah.
Andy has kids?
Andy has 2. I think he has 3 on the
way. We played
One's
against his team in indoor.
Andy's?
It's funny.
I love
He's
Andy.
so funny, man.
Yeah.
He's one of the funniest. You need to get him on here. He's a rapper.
He's a rapper. He does a lot of things. He wears a lot of hats.
Yeah.
A painter.
Anytime you need something painted,
he's the guy.
That's your guy.
Him and General will come and do it, won't they?
General's painting?
I knew he was painting for him for a little bit.
You're going to get those guys on?
I want to. There's nobody I'm not willing to have on.
Really?
Yeah. There's no reason for this not to.
You know who you need to get on?
Who?
You might not like this. Nima, the ref.
I've asked him. He's... I don't want to say anything about it, but we're working on it.
Shouldn't have brought it up.
We're working on it. Yeah,
that guy's been all over the world.
It's crazy, isn't it? I did DM him. He said he'd be down, so we're just trying to put a date down. That guy's traveling all over the world.
If he flies in from an MLS game, get him out here real quick.
Love to.
Do it from the airport.
I mean...
little mobile SWAT.
I don't want to do digital. I could do digital and make it easy, but there's something tangible about having somebody in front of you.
Yeah.
And I just have so many questions for that guy. He has so many iconic pictures with like Zlatan. He's coached... Isn't it mind-boggling considering he used to do the MACU games and now he's like up there doing those?
So, speaking of regrets, I wasn't great with refs for a while, starting off coaching. And I feel really stupid about it now, but I was young. He was young. Man, it was, if he was reffing and I was reffing, or I was coaching, we're going. But I feel like we're in a good spot now.
Okay.
So I've tried to mend things with the referees around here.
Yeah.
Because we need them. They're all,
there's referee shortage right now, Dresel. What do we got to do about that? Just be nicer to the refs.
No, I went to a game the other night, a high school game, and I was sitting in the stands. There was a 2-man crew reffing the game. You know how hard that is?
Yeah.
In a high school, like, high-tempo game. And I couldn't believe what the parents were yelling at them. Like, get in position. Like, the ball's all the way over on the other. What do you want them to do? And so we just got to be thankful.
Yeah.
Because if we get to a point where we have no refs in the game.
I mean, there's high school games now getting canceled. Playoff games having to get pushed back because there isn't enough refs to accommodate to all the games that are being played.
Yeah.
And there are some terrible I used to ref at indoor, and I used to hear all kinds of things. And I've heard how some of these games have gotten this year.
As bad as I've ever been with refs, it's something I could never do. I would be terrible at it.
I want to start reffing.
Do it.
I used to ref, and it's fun. It's really fun. I used to love the scouting part of it.
Yeah.
When I would especially do it at ISA, there would be some little kids that were just insane, and you start looking forward to those games. And some U12 games are just so nice to watch, competitive. Reffing is pretty fun. I kid you not. I wouldn't mind.
It's good when people have played at a high level too. Like Matthew Gorgon's a really good ref. Because you can read the game. Like you see things that are happening that some refs might not see. You need to do it, man. That could be you.
Maybe.
You could be reffing in like Chile or something.
I mean, maybe. There's just so many fun things about it. And then when you start getting to know players, you kind of just start knocking with them, having fun with them, like just shooting it. Maybe.
Corrigan's really good at that. I feel like just kind of knowing how to talk to people on the field and the coaches, and they're not perfect, but it's a tough job.
It is a tough job, and I guess VAR was supposed to make it easier, but I don't know how good of a job that's doing.
I think it makes it worse.
I do too. Honestly, I think it's inconsistent considering how consistent it should be.
Well, my assistant coach, Roger, and Danny Frid, they're both Arsenal fans. I'm a Man U fan. I don't want to even say it publicly, but I was telling them, like, man, they're really, VAR's trying to get Arsenal into the top 4.
You think so? Either that or trying to make Real Madrid champions. I don't know which one of the two.
Wait, who do you follow?
I like Barcelona. That's who I've been following for a long time.
Isn't Xavi?
I think he's done a great job. And I don't want to judge him off the recent 2 losses that he's had, considering the 14 win streak that he had gone on. But, man, the Real Madrid effect It's like the effect of just winging it and it just turning out right every time.
I mean, I had no idea what was going on the other day in that game. Like
the first one or the second one?
Second
they
one,
were both
exactly.
bananas.
The second one, I turned it off because I had to go get my kids, and then someone texted me like, "Man, this is gonna get crazy the last couple minutes." And I'm like, I'm getting it back on. So I had my wife go get the kids. I just couldn't believe it.
No,
but
it's wild.
It's Benzema, different level.
Ballon d'Oro. Do you think he deserves it
Yes.
this year?
Yes. Who's the guy, Vinny Jr. on the outside?
Vinicius Jr.,
little
the Brazilian guy. Yeah, he's
Who's the guy that came in? Rodrigo.
He's another Brazilian guy too. That guy's also had some crazy last few games.
Yeah, they were saying when he came in the second game that he had scored a couple goals over the weekend,
and
then he comes in and just
to that too, just became so important.
I think the Premier League for me is the best league in the world overall, like from top to bottom, just in my opinion. But the top teams from some of the other leagues, they're just the players they have on their teams are unbelievable.
I was having that conversation with Paulo. I think the EPL is the most entertaining one to watch. It's competitive because any team can win on any given Sunday. But the teams in Spain, the games might not be like they are in the EPL, but they're just as tough, I think, as the EPL. I even think might be better than the majority of the EPL. If you had all EPL teams against Spanish teams, I think
they just play different style too. Who's your favorite player in the world right now?
Right now, favorite player in the world. Wow. I don't watch a lot of soccer, but I love the midfielders. I would love a Pedri. Pedri's the kind of guy that I like right now.
The guy that I love watching is Thiago for Liverpool.
Thiago, man, that guy should have stayed with Barcelona. That guy is so.
And then Modric,
you have
just
to give it to
watching the
him.
field generals that run around and
just dictate.
look like they're just playing in the park and they're playing in the top league or top game in the world. Yeah, you like Kroos?
I like Kroos.
Really? I'm not the biggest fan of him.
There's something about players that make the game look simple that I respect a lot. That's just you can't do that.
He's German.
Yeah, he is German.
So he's just very methodical about how he plays.
I love it. His first touch is on point. It's all that stuff that I like. Midfielders are great. Busquets, underrated. Prime Busquets I used to like. But he's just...
If I were younger when Busquets, he would have been my favorite player probably. My favorite player of all time is Carlos Valderrama. And then obviously from there it was like Zidane, just unbelievable. I don't know, just Pirlo.
Zidane's in a different caliber too. I don't know if I put Modric or Kroos in Zidane's.
No.
Shot. Not in that caliber. No, I don't think so. But I mean, I don't know. It's tough to see. I don't know which team will be the best team in the next 5 years, if Real Madrid or Barcelona, because Real Madrid. They're so stacked.
Yeah, Barcelona, they have that style, and they need the right players to make it work. I think they'll be back though.
You think so? They have to.
Hopefully.
So.
We'll see, man. I hope so.
Certainly exciting. Who do you think will win the Champions League? By the time this is out, they probably would have already crowned it. You think so?
Yeah. But it's hard to. Do you watch fighting or anything like UFC or boxing?
Sometimes I'm excited to see who the Canelo fight tomorrow.
Yeah. So have you ever seen someone really good and they keep knocking someone down or hurting them, but they're never out of the fight? And
like
the guy's
Tyson Fury?
What is it going to take?
Tyson Fury
coming back from the dead. And then that person gets up and knocks them out. That's how Real Madrid is, I feel like. Like these teams like Man City, they didn't know what to do when they just didn't go away. But this game will be one game for the final.
And anything can happen.
I think Real Madrid to me looked a little suspect in the back sometimes.
They look weak, but some of these saves that Courtois was making.
I know, but Salah, Sané,
Luis Diaz is.
Yes, he's unbelievable.
Yes.
And then you can even bring a guy like Firmino in that is ready at all times.
Yes.
And they've got, I think, Thiago in the middle with Fabinho is a great combo. I think Thiago can just pull the strings. Fabinho can, be a workhorse, get into people. And then you got Virgil in the back.
Yeah.
And then the two outside, the left and right back are
I think that's where they're the most vulnerable, is those wings. Because
you think so? Because they're so...
The way they attack.
Yeah.
They attack a lot. That leaves them exposed. But then they're also sometimes... They get caught in really bad positions.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I think that's where they're going to get hurt.
Man, they're just... I think world soccer is the best it's ever been.
Yeah.
At this point. Like, the amount of good players and the tactical things that are going on within the game that just... It just
Everyone's an athlete. The game's changed so much. Everybody is just a monster on the field. And... athleticism, have to have it. It's just, and the Champions League, for me, best competition in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hands down. There isn't
And I
anything.
like that they changed away goals
I like
on
that
the aggregate because teams are just going for it now. Like Real Madrid, man, they just went for it that first game. And then even the second game, like they're just going for it. There's no, you're not thinking about, I can't give up. You're just trying to win, just win that total score. So I think that's helped a little bit too. I was kind of hoping for a Liverpool, Man City, just because those games have been amazing lately. But now that happened, I think it's an awesome matchup.
It is going to be great. I can't wait at the Saturday Champions League match.
When is that?
I don't know. I think it's
got to be a few weeks, right?
In a few weeks, probably middle of June, May. We'll see, man. And it's a World Cup year.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be the fall, right?
I think it starts at the end of November.
I don't even know. Hopefully they don't go to a 2-year schedule.
I don't want that too.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
want
going to be stupid.
I can have them add more teams to the World Cup, but not bicentennial.
How do you think Mexico will do?
I think they'll do great. I'm
Are
pretty
you,
confident.
let's see, was I listening to a little bit of the one with Roldan or something you guys were talking about? Are you more of a Mexico fan than U.S. national team?
I support them both. But if I had to pick one, I would probably lean towards Mexico. Yes.
Man, me and Gustavo, on these long trips we drive,
back and forth.
He'd be in my car. And it depends on who's hot at the moment, right? Like some years Mexico's killing it, some years, but we went back and forth. I'm like, man, you're American. You're like, but then you think about what you guys grow up. It's just on your TV.
Yeah, that's just what we're surrounded by. That's our norm, basically.
Mexico's awesome. They're struggling right now, though.
I think they're okay. If Paulo was here, he would tell you how terrible they're doing, and he's so pessimistic about it. But the way that I look at it is like, you finished top 3, the goal is to make it to the World Cup. The only bad thing is that, of course, we've had these 3 straight losses against the USA in the big championship games. But the Mexico fans will always say, we haven't taken the top team, which is just BS. We lost the finals. You wouldn't take it. But I think they sit well. The problem with it is just it looks bad at times, but a lot of these Honduras games, Costa Rica games, when Mexico plays, they all just sit back.
Yeah.
Like, they park the bus, and I think Mexico lacks a creative number 10.
Yeah.
Because all they do is they get it down to Lozano, or they get it down to the other wing and just expect them to create something and put it in the box.
Yeah.
And Raul Jimenez isn't a finisher like he used to be before his head accident.
I know.
We need a
poacher. He was
poacher.
awesome, too.
I would love to see Chicharito get his chance back there.
He's worth taking.
I think so. He needs his run like Kobe did. He's the leading goal scorer for Mexico national team.
He's made for big moments.
He's made for big moments. He's a poacher that is going to put himself in the right spot. And with the wingers that Mexico has, I think we would benefit from that.
Who they get in their group? I can't remember. Do you remember?
Yeah, so we have Argentina.
Ooh.
I think we have Saudi.
Always Argentina, I feel like.
Yeah, that's the one. That's going to be a great game. Mexico, Argentina, and Saudi Arabia. And they have they're playing against Poland.
Oh, okay.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, they can get out of that group.
Yeah, they've made it out of worse.
Yeah. Of course, we have to play England.
That's going to be one that I'm super excited about.
I'm around only English coaches now, pretty much. So
it's going to be a tough one.
So they all want to watch it with me.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, listen, I have nothing to lose.
That's true.
Like, we have nothing to lose. You guys should beat us.
If USA loses, meh.
You invented football. You know what I'm saying? They didn't. But
I get what you're coming from. If USA loses, it's expected. But if England loses, that's a bigger one.
And by the way, we drew with England. We drew or beat England a couple World Cups ago.
It wasn't with Jurgen Klinsmann.
Yeah. So, I feel good about it. But if we lose, especially by a lot, I won't go into work for a few days.
I'm curious to see how USA is going to do in the World Cup. With the young team that they have, I think that's.
What do you think about them?
I think they're young, but a lot of room to grow. I love the way that they're going, but the inexperience is what kind of gets me. But inexperience also takes teams far in the World Cup. Yeah. Like that France team, that was an even mix of, some older players with a lot of, Mbappes and a lot of the younger players. So I think we have the youth going for us, but sometimes in the World Cup, experience takes you. You know?
We'll see. I mean, what was it, the 2002 World Cup? Where the U.S. made a run
in Japan
and just blew out of the gates and just were awesome. That was a little bit of younger. That was a younger team. But you can either do really well or
really bad. Yeah. So as long as they make it out of the group stage, anything can happen from there.
So I think Garrett talked about it a little bit, but the '94 World Cup for me and for my generation was what sparked. I think here. If you were born from 75 or maybe, 3 through like 90, maybe a little earlier than that, but that 94 World Cup, it was unbelievable. So I'm hoping when it comes back here, maybe that'll have the same effect.
It definitely will, times 10, I believe. Like, I joke and tell everybody that I'm not going to have another kid until after that World Cup. So I can travel with my team of 4, and then by then my son will be like 8, 9, my daughter will be like 5, 6. They're going to be at a good age to be able to catch some games because, God willing, I'm going to take the whole month off. I'm going to see a game in Canada, Mexico, and USA, and just
podcast at every event.
That'd be a dream.
But you got to think about it from my perspective, or from my, people that are my age. Like, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have access to like watch players play. So you would just hear about people. Like, the legends to us were people that were like local. You'd hear about these guys. I could name off a bunch of names.
Go for it.
I mean, there's too many, but like, there's a guy named Clint Regier that and his daughters are playing now. They're really good. His older daughter plays for UConn, really good player. And I actually coached his younger daughter in futsal, and it scared me.
Really?
Because we looked up to those guys. Like, he was probably 7, 8 years older than me. There was a guy named Matt Thompson in Mustang, who I don't have any idea how no one talks about him enough, but you would just like hear about people, but you never really get to watch them that much because we just didn't have like access to that stuff. There was just so many people, but we were lucky to have good coaches too. But then when the World Cup happened, like, my coach, he would talk about like Lothar Matthäus plays for Germany, and Baggio for Italy.
There was some fantasy behind it, wasn't there?
And so you're like, I gotta see these guys, and so you would see them for the first time in that event. And so that's where I saw Carlos Valderrama play, and then he came to the MLS, and my whole wall was covered with his pictures. But like, there was a little bit of mystery. Yeah. Now it's like,
now you have too much information.
Yeah,
there's
too much.
Nothing left for mystery.
They know your stats,
everything,
FIFA, your level on FIFA, and all that stuff. But so that sparked, I think, in my generation, just like finally seeing it on that stage was like, whoa, this is amazing. So you see a lot of people that are around that age range that are really passionate about soccer. I think it was just that sparked it. So
I can't wait. Where do you think the World Cup final should be held?
Man, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I would love to see it in Mexico City, but I don't think this should be played there.
At Azteca?
Yeah, you can't get
I don't know if they
you
can.
Could.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's amazing.
Anywhere in Mexico, it would have to.
It would be insane in Mexico.
It would, but they've had it twice, so I feel like it should not.
I think that they have so many great venues here that it's probably where it'll be. I don't know. Have they not decided?
Not
yet. It's going to be. So it's Mexico, U.S., and Canada.
And I think there's only 2 host places in Canada and 3 in Mexico.
Well,
so
U.S. is in the middle, so I'm sure it's going to be
80% of their games are being played in the U.S.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would maybe where they had the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That would be California.
Yeah.
The Mercedes out there in Atlanta.
What are those tickets going to go for?
Ridiculous amounts.
When the schedule comes out, it's going to be so hard to get tickets.
That's where we got to save now.
We got to save now.
Yeah, I've been saving since they announced.
You're already saving?
Yeah, I've been putting $25 away for 4 years already.
You took the college fund you started for your kids, it's getting shifted.
Sorry, I'm going to sell all my stocks.
We'll get back to it after the World Cup.
All my shares and everything that I've invested is going out the
You're going to be selling all this?
Everything.
Just
everything.
So you're just the ultimate fan.
Yeah, that's on my bucket list. The World Cup match, that's hands down.
Have you been to Azteca?
I have.
Really?
And talk about
went, didn't he?
Just recently, yes. I got to go on my honeymoon, and it's a funny story. We've been going for like an hour and 40, but we keep going.
Dude, I'm on your time, so...
We were on a honeymoon, and the way that I structured this honeymoon is we went for 2 weeks, and we visited 4 cities. We were just like, once you're there, we can fly for cheap, whatever. Yeah. So we were in Cancun, and America and Chivas got to play the semifinal in a cup match. So it wasn't league, and it's cup match. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, they're going to play in El Azteca. This is the Super Clásico. This is like Man U, Man City. And they're going to do that a day before we get there. Like, can we rearrange things to do it? And when she gave me the heads up, I was like, all right, bet. I got the tickets. And I don't regret it at all. At all. The second you walk in and knowing the history, being outside, smelling the food, seeing the vendors, man.
Just
there's nothing
in your
like
element.
That. Knowing that Pelé had played there, Maradona had won there. There's so much history there. That's like, top 5 stadiums to visit. You know, that's like you walking into an Old Trafford. You know, have you ever walked into Old Trafford?
No.
Not yet?
No.
When you get to,
I know.
Everything, you're going to enjoy everything. Purchasing your tickets.
Yeah.
Walking into the gift shop.
Just
purchasing your Man U shirt.
Singing with the crowd. So we went, me and Garrett and Kit went to the Gold Cup when it was in Dallas at Jerry's World. So we go to watch U.S. play, I can't remember who they played, but it was a doubleheader. U.S. played someone, and then Mexico played Panama.
Must have been a crazy atmosphere right there.
So we go for the U.S. We're in the U.S. like, you know, and we got tickets for both games or whatever. So we're just enjoying it, having fun. The cup holders are in front of you there. It's in the back of the chair. So like my drink's in the cup holder. We're in the Mexico game starts, and the whole place turns. It's different. And it was amazing. We were wearing U.S. stuff and everything. They were great. I don't know what was getting poured on us, but every goal. Yeah. But my drink's there, and we're sitting here, and this guy's sitting in front of us, and he puts his arm. He doesn't even know. He puts his arm on the chair, and his 2 fingers just dip, like all the way to his knuckles. And we're just sitting here, like watching the whole thing go down. He has no idea.
No.
He's just enjoying the game. Takes it out, and he's going. And I was like, "What just happened?" But that night was so special, man.
Yeah.
Just watching, you watch U.S. get the whole feeling of like watching Mexico play Panama, which is I think normally a pretty decent game.
Yeah.
Between those two, but I was like, what is going on here? But man, there was who knows what coming from the top.
Pandemonium, huh? I love it. I don't miss a chance to watch Mexico play in Dallas, and every time I do, I love to get hammered just watching them play because it's just I get more out of it. It's every foul, I'm standing up, and I can't imagine watching 2 games.
Man, it was awesome. I think one of my favorite things to do is like going to ISA when there's a couple Hispanic teams playing, like 7-year-olds, noisemakers.
Yes,
like. One of my fondest memories growing up, I was like 8 years old. We came from Mustang, a little Mustang team. And I don't think the Mexican population was as big back then as it is now, but there was definitely like probably around this area of town. And so they had it was a team from over here. I can't remember what they were called. Man, it was ingrained in my brain forever. Now I can't remember it. But that was our first experience, because the old ISA had like a kind of a balcony thing that you could watch from.
The first one? Here?
This the ISA that.
Oh, okay.
But it was one field.
Oh, okay.
Basically, and like they had a balcony, everyone was in there, and man, it was. Yeah, and I was just like, "Where are we at? What is happening?"
We want to talk about parents yelling at kids.
But it's amazing, man. I mean, the passion is like so obvious. But that's like a little microcosm of like a game at Azteca, I'm sure.
Yeah, many. Yeah. But I just can't put it into words what it's like to walk out and just see it all, just to hear it all, to feel it all, to taste it all, to see it all, to feel it all. It's just amazing. So
will you get back?
Huh?
You're gonna get back there and
to
go Azteca
one day, maybe. Yeah, I mean,
take your kids.
I'd love to. My wife is just like, we're going to go on a vacation here in 3 weeks, and there's a slight chance that if the cards are played right, there might be a playoff game that we can go to.
Who plays there?
America.
Oh, okay.
The Mexico City, that's the team.
Is that who you follow?
No, I follow the rivals, the red and white team, Chivas.
That's
the team that I like, and that's the team my dad liked too. And my parents are from there, so it's kind of like the state team. It's like the Thunder to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Gustavo and Chucky are Tigres.
Yeah, big Tigres fan, and that's another big one in another big city in Monterrey. That's huge fans. They both play for those teams.
We're in like the state cup with this. We had a great team, and I get like a message from Chucky. Like, hey, we're halfway to Mexico. We're going to watch Tigres.
They're just going to win.
We're playing a game. You're like one of my center midfielders. What are we doing?
I was like, sorry, coach.
I couldn't even like be mad though. I'm like, hey, have fun, man. Just be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, it's not a far drive to go down there, and that's another one of the big teams in Mexico is Monterrey.
Monterrey,
yeah.
Really?
Tigres, yeah. Those two, they share. It's 2 teams in a city, but that's like Liverpool, Everton.
Played in the Dallas Cup a couple times, like international tournament that's in Dallas growing up.
Big tournament.
And Tigres would always send a team. I think all of them. I mean, at one point or another, you'll see those teams there.
All of them, huh?
Man, they can play.
Yeah.
It's just mind-blowing
how
good they are.
The structure down there is a little different. I've been listening to a couple podcasts that have players that have gone through their systems, and I guess the trickle down effect from the MX, the professional league, is felt because they have, housing situations where if you're playing with the whatever team from whatever team, they can basically have you at their house. And they have a place that schools them all. And they feed them, they let them live there, and then they also get stipends that they get paid way early on into their soccer career. So it's just a whole different structure. It's not club. Well, I guess it's a club, but it's all, I guess, professional.
Do they have promotion relegation?
They don't.
Man.
They used to, but now they don't.
I think that's one thing we're missing here too.
Think
but
so?
It's just in all of our sports. Like, can you imagine if there was promotion relegation in the NBA? What would the Thunder be doing right now?
Not trying to get a good draft pick, probably.
I went to a Thunder game the other day, like at the end of the season, and I'm like, why am I watching this?
It's kind of hard.
But there's no promotion relegation, and there's no, they can just tank, and I think it takes the quality. But even in the MLS, I think the country, you're right about the size of the country, it kind of makes it difficult.
It does.
But I think promotion and relegation at some point
needs to get implemented.
Would help. Yeah, would help the soccer in all levels. I think just you go to other countries, I think that's how they run all their leagues. Basketball, whatever, it's part of it. So I'm surprised they don't have that in Mexico though.
No, they don't. They used to, but there's just, I don't know. I really
How many
don't know
teams are in that? Do you know?
I would say like 18-ish, 16. I don't know exactly off the top of my head. But there is a few. But now there's also a lot of mini clubs and all this other jazz. But I guess I just don't know too much about what's going on down there. But
you're too busy, man.
Yeah, we all are, huh?
You're doing too much drones and podcasts and everything else.
Yeah, I don't know what the next level is of this, but we'll figure it out when we get there.
Dude, anything you ever need from me,
of course.
Please. I mean, I don't know what I can do.
Yeah.
But dude, anything you ever need,
I'm open to try anything and everything. So
I want to surround myself with people that hustle and like have passion and get after it. I think the more people you're around like that, I may not be doing the same thing you're doing, but we can all feed off each other and help each other grow. And
no, college season is coming up, and I definitely want to approach college season like I do the high school season, where I'm posting medias and getting interviews and all that jazz. So I'm definitely going to have a bigger role into that college atmosphere as well. Whether it's, I would love to start visiting games. That's the next step, but I just have to find the right time.
I don't think people understand like how, like there's so many good games to go see, like the college level games that are around here. And then Oklahoma City FC
all year round in
the summer is amazing. Like the quality of players on that team, it's in Mustang. And
that's
then
where it is this year?
Yeah. But those girls are awesome. Like they'll sign autographs after the game. They'll wait, and they play hard. They're so good. They're so talented. And then after the game, they're just like JC Jones.
She was out there with us at Sunrise Soccer. She was great. The kids liked her too.
Unbelievable. You know what I mean? And they're right there in Mustang. Like take your daughters out there and watch these girls play.
You have to. That's the highest level, one of the highest level of women's soccer here in Oklahoma.
The level of play on that team and then the teams they play are unbelievable. But the Imps, I mean, there's so many good. I mean, take your kids, like go watch games. But if you do more with colleges and kind of promote that, I think it'll help maybe get more people.
I think so, because I, like you said, I don't think people understand that there's soccer going on all the time, whether it's high school in the spring, the semi-pro in the summer, college in the fall, and then it just starts all over again. And that's not even including, the gap that energy has left, because that was also huge as well. Once the multi-purpose stadium comes in, I think it's just going to start rolling.
And like you were talking earlier about maybe some of these local kids, you promote, like go watch a college team play, like see what these kids are doing. It might spark something in them, to kind of,
they have to see it to believe
to look
it,
at and try to attain that. So keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you.
Seriously, it's so amazing. I wish I could catch up with Polio a little bit more too, but
he's a busy guy, man. I wish I can catch up with him too. That's why I was late here, because I had to get the key from him. But the way to get the key from him, he leaves it in a mailbox somewhere. I don't want to say exactly where he leaves it, but yeah, we're just running around trying to figure out what we're doing. But we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, anything you ever need, let me know.
Likewise. Last question. Do you believe in aliens?
Do I believe in aliens?
Yeah.
Is this coming from my brother's podcast?
No. I did this last time with another guest, and I wanted to just change it up right before we ended.
I think I do.
Do you?
Yeah. I think I do.
Do you?
But I need a little bit more
proof.
proof.
What about that video of that little spaceship out in the ocean that was the size of a Tic Tac that flew?
They found a Tic Tac.
You haven't seen that video? The government
I
has
don't know
released,
what's real and what's not.
The government released an official video of this little thing that just flew up out of the ocean and then just disappeared really quickly.
Man, have you heard about those pilots that like see things?
Yeah, that's basically
what's happening.
I think they're seeing things.
You think they're like studying us?
I think they're in the ocean.
You think they're down deep?
Definitely think
living with the
whales. I
whales.
was gonna say dead ass. I think they're in the ocean. I mean, considering that the world is 70% water and majority of the stuff that's in, we haven't explored the water at all. I find it weird that we're going in space and not in the water. You know?
You think we know something's down there?
I think so.
They don't want to wake the sleeping giant.
No, I mean we could live underwater, and be cool from tornadoes and hurricanes and whatnot. I don't know why we don't.
Do you? So you believe in them?
I do, definitely.
Have you ever had like a little experience?
No, I haven't. I don't want to open.
That's my
myself
problem,
up to that.
man.
You haven't had an experience?
No, if I had one, I would be all in.
I definitely don't want to be the type that I haven't had an experience, and when I have one, I'll believe because it'll come knocking. But I think
and you got to be ready.
Yeah, I mean,
be prepared.
I don't think it matters.
It's my problem with Bigfoot too.
Yeah,
I can't get on it. How do we not have more evidence?
I mean, how do we not have anything that didn't involve into that, like a big primate? Like why is that hard to believe?
Look at me. Like this might be evidence. Like I look like a Neanderthal. You know what I mean? I walk like one. When I walk, it's like I look like a caveman.
Not when you were running. You were running pretty gracefully.
Dude, listen. Here's the deal. Here's the deal with me. Follow me on this.
Okay.
I walk like a caveman. When it's time to perform,
it's turn it up.
I'm up. I'm up on my toes.
Hips are turning.
My dad forever on your toes, on your toes, on your toes. So I get a little bit graceful, but I think on the alien thing though, I've never been asked that question, but I think I'm gonna say I kind of believe in them.
I apologize for putting you on the record.
Do you have any other ones? I like those.
This one? Yeah,
I like those questions.
I got you. Mermaids, real or not real?
No, they're not real.
You don't think so?
No. Merman, maybe. Not mermaids.
What's the difference?
Well, a merman is a man.
Or what's a mermaid? It's just a chick?
Yeah, with a fin. But no, I don't think either one of those are real.
A chick with the fin. Okay.
Let me ask you this. I got one for you.
Okay. Thank you.
A straw.
A straw?
Yes. Does it have 2 holes in it or 1?
Whoa. Okay. 2.
2?
Yeah.
I would contend that there's not
tough.
Any holes. It's just an opening. I think a hole has a bottom to it. Like it's
there has to be something to.
It's tough though.
Damn.
Yeah, you start thinking about that stuff.
I didn't think you were gonna get me with that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The world's a big place.
It is a big place. Are there more tires in it, or wheels, or doors in it?
In the world?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know the answer?
I'm team wheels.
It depends on how you look at doors.
Yeah, it depends on what classifies as a door. But there's wheels
everywhere. Is a gate a door?
I would, yeah.
You think a gate's a door?
I don't know why, but gate. I thought the gates of heaven. It's a door.
It's a door.
It leads you somewhere. It's
wow. That's a door over there. Yeah.
I think cars have wheels. Refrigerators have wheels. Microwaves have wheels. The will.
Oh, we're
all
talking
the wheels Legos have ever created.
Of wheels.
Yeah, I think humans invented wheels before doors too. So that's why I'm
Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
Even there's like so many different things you would never think about.
Yeah.
Wow. Why did we not get into this earlier?
I don't know. I didn't think we were going to dive this deep. This is a little bit more interesting, isn't it?
This is my wheelhouse.
This it?
This is when you're going to really get to know me.
Okay.
Is when we talk about stuff like this.
Are you a cat guy or a dog guy?
Whoa. I'm glad you asked. So, I have a philosophy about teams and team building.
Okay.
I ask every player that I recruit if they're a cat or dog person. Mm-hmm. You want dog people.
Okay.
They're better team. They're kind. They're better team people.
For anybody trying to get recruited at Oklahoma OC, listen now, be a dog person.
You don't want too many just pure cat people. If you know someone that loves a cat but hates dogs, you only need one of those on your team.
Cats are different.
If someone's a cat and a dog person, they're okay. But purely cat people, you gotta watch them.
Well, what are your thoughts about cats though?
Dude, I've thought about this a lot.
Yeah.
I have a dog that's 90 pounds. Mm-hmm. If I had a cat that was 90 pounds, what would that cat do to me?
Kill you.
He would eat me.
He would, wouldn't it?
That cat doesn't do anything to you because he's tiny.
Mm-hmm.
If he was big enough, he would kill you and eat you.
Not a dog.
Is that the kind of
That's so true.
animal you want to be around?
No, but there's something about cats.
So you're a cat person.
Not that I'm a cat person.
I didn't take you for a cat person.
I've owned a cat, and I've owned a cat. I shared a house with a cat.
Hold on. Have you ever just had a cat and no dog?
I have a dog, too.
But have you ever had a cat but no dog?
Yes,
wow.
I did. But this was like a street cat that would jump in the window and kick it with us a little bit and then bounce.
Really?
It was so weird.
Those are the worst.
Yeah, his name was Tito. Don't ask me why. But something about cats are just weird and majestic. Like, why is it a cat? No, it's a sphinx. Half cat, half person. Cats, I don't see many dogs on Pyramid. You know, cats are just, I don't know, they're different.
Held in high regard.
I guess so.
The king of the jungle.
There you go.
It's not a dog.
And then I heard the story about this cat that used to live at a hospital that would visit people before they die. Like, it knew when somebody was going to pass away. And
that's not an animal I want to be around.
Weird?
Yeah. They're too weird.
Isn't that?
Listen, you can be so mean to your dog, and don't be mean to your dog.
No, don't.
They're amazing, ever. But that dog will always love you.
They're not a cat.
That cat is trying to kill you.
They're different.
24/7, he's trying to kill you.
If there was one animal in the world that you would say is like an alien, like that thing didn't grow here, which one would you say it'd be?
Octopus.
That's the
Where'd
first thing
that
that
come
came to
from?
my mind too, because they're smart. They have like 3 hearts. They change colors. They can fit anywhere.
They have ink.
That
Why do they have
shoots out
ink?
of 'em.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't get it either. There's a few. Know where they're all located? The ocean.
Exactly. See,
I brought it full circle.
Atlantis is in the ocean. I believe it's out there.
Wow. It is. There's a few frogs or snakes where you're like, that might be an alien. Where'd it come from?
Fish with teeth.
What is that?
I don't know.
Well, now that we have the internet, now that we have like social media, I follow this thing on Instagram called, I think it's Nature is Metal.
Nature is Metal.
And it's just animal stuff.
Yeah.
It's so creepy.
Animals, man.
They're out to get us.
You think so?
Yeah. Are you an animal person?
I am an animal, but we're on the top of the food chain.
I don't know, man.
You don't think so?
No. Dolphins.
Dolphins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'd kick a dolphin and wouldn't be able to do much.
Dude,
but if I was in the water, I'd be done.
I think they're up to something.
You think so?
Yes. They're plotting. It's like you said about the aliens. You better be ready. I think we got a little uprising from the ocean.
I wouldn't say I'd be open to having an uprising like that, because I think that's what humanity needs. You know, a big bad guy for all of us to come together.
Like a man versus animal?
Yes, something like that. You know?
You know what, though? You might be right. We have all these like UFC fighters and stuff now.
Yeah.
I think the humans could, and we have weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. We could probably.
I think that would be good for all of us to just get on one team and take on just one foe. You know, for all of us to wear the same jersey at least once. And
like Independence Day, the movie?
Basically.
Are you talking about animals too?
Huh? We're aliens and animals.
And
anything.
Humans.
Just like if George, broke out of, like the ape movie. What's the movie called? Animal Planet? No. Planet of the Apes. You know?
Yeah.
We need something like that to bring us all together.
Something to unify us?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I could think of about 1,000 different things to unify us other than a war where we have to team up with animals.
Yeah, of course. Sorry. We were in a dark, deep end, and I just kind of just said, fuck it, let's just keep going.
I thought soccer was the thing that would bring us all together, but apparently it's
fighting squids coming out of the water.
Man, why do we wait till this late in the podcast?
I don't know. Marvel or DC?
Wow. What do you pick?
DC's heroes are some goats.
I'd say this. DC, cats. Marvel, dogs. DC's a little dark.
It is dark, but that's just because they portrayed it that way recently.
Really?
We're riding on the Marvel high now.
Do you like the new Batman?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard some great things about it. I need to watch that and the new Joker as well.
So you're a comic guy.
I love comics,
stuff.
yes.
You like the Marvel stuff?
I love the Marvel stuff. I need to go watch that Doctor Strange movie that came out.
Who is your favorite, superhero?
It's so easy. Spider-Man. I go to Spider-Man. Yeah, I love Spider-Man.
He does get around town, doesn't he?
He does get around town. He's so good.
Seamlessly.
He does. He's great.
He's swinging off things. He can't fly, but...
Have you seen the new Spider-Man, the recent one that came out?
Yeah.
That one's so good.
It's amazing.
So good. So good.
I actually took this thing from a Spider-Man movie. I think it was Tony Stark was talking to Peter Parker.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, if that suit defines you, you'll lose yourself. That suit can't define who you are. I'm like, Isn't that so true about all
That
of
is
us?
true.
Like what we do can't really define us. It's like we're different than that.
Like a coach, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't define me. It's just what I do. But I didn't mean to go back into the soccer thing. That was stupid.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, let's go back to comics. I think Spider-Man's up there for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the X-Men growing up. So there's not really any one.
No, X-Men was great.
Were they in the...
They're going to.
What, they are?
I think they're going to be.
What, do you know where I'm going with that?
I think so. Are you asking if they're going to be in the Marvel?
Yes.
I think so, because they have the license for it. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I don't know if that's the case or not. I think Xavier is going to be in the Doctor Strange movie because he gets introduced to the Illuminati as well. So I think he's going to be up there on that board of the Illuminati.
Are you in conspiracy theories?
I love conspiracy theories.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite one?
I don't know. There's so many.
There's so many?
And they're all dark too. So I don't know. What's your favorite conspiracy?
I think I'm getting old. And so I don't really get into the big conspiracy theories. Like who shot Kennedy and things like that.
Yeah, that one is crazy.
It's too much. I can't. But I do think that gas prices are up right now. There's construction everywhere. I think the gas people and the construction people, they're all in on it together. They're making us wait in line to waste our gas. And then we got to go spend all this money on gas. That's the kind of stuff that I'm like looking around for.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not really a big conspiracy guy.
No, but I believe in the gas conspiracy because the way they manipulate the prices
and then
grocery stores and all that stuff.
Grocery stores and the weather people. When they say there's a storm coming in and we go and get all these groceries and then nothing comes in.
Yeah, that's true.
We're getting...
It's getting wild. Much. It is getting wild, yeah. I mean, that's why I stocked up on toilet paper.
You were one of those?
I mean, I am now. I didn't
You were a TP bandit?
No. Afterwards, when I had seen the damage had been done and had seen how valuable toilet paper got, I, stocked up a little bit.
Yeah. That's not how you roll?
That is not how the toilet paper rolls in my house. Huh?
The button. I did a little toilet paper.
I didn't even catch it, sorry.
Jeez, man.
Hold on.
Yeah, there, finally.
You earned yourself that one.
I did it. Finally. That was good. Wow, that was good, man. You had some good questions.
Thank you.
You can really get me going.
I need to have these written down because I normally I have a little script in my head, but I need to have a little period where I can ask people.
What do you think about ninjas? Last one.
Ninjas?
Yeah.
I love ninjas. I believe ninjas are real.
Are they real?
Yeah, they were real at one point in time. The assassins, that were masters at their craft out there with the samurais and whatnot. Definitely
anyone that can walk in silence and just sneak up on someone.
Like a cat.
Wow. You got me.
Like a cat?
I need to get a cat.
Like a cat. No. Do you like ninjas?
Yeah, I love ninjas. They have the little stars.
Yeah.
And they're just they're really good with weaponry.
Yeah.
And fighting.
And I think what I like the most about them is the code that they live by,
They have a code?
Yeah.
Is it similar to like a samurai code?
Something like that, yes.
Do you think it stemmed from that?
Probably. Like a different type of, ninjas and samurais and interesting.
Their balance is impeccable. How do they get that good a balance? Training?
Monks. I don't know. They're amazing. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Michelangelo.
Really?
No. Raphael.
I was going to say, mine's Raphael.
Yeah. I think when I was little it was Michelangelo. Raphael.
Yeah?
That's yours too?
Raphael, yeah.
What is it about him?
I think it's just his demeanor, his cockiness, the way he carries himself.
I think the show is actually about him.
You think so?
I think everything with Ninja Turtles is actually about Raphael.
Really?
I think it all centers around his struggles and what he's going through.
I need to
Every movie you watch with him in it, well, he's in all of them, but there's always a central story with Raphael.
Huh.
And he's the most difficult one of the bunch, but he's also the one you like the most.
That's true.
He's more endearing than anybody else.
Yeah, he is. And I think, there's a comic book that came out. I'm not sure if he was the last Ninja Turtle, but basically the way that the premise of it was that all the Ninja Turtles had died but one.
Wow.
And I'm not sure which one of the ones.
I don't want to read that.
I think it was Michelangelo that was the last one. And he kind of goes back and, defends everybody else's honor and whatnot. But I'm about to blow your mind with this one. You watch Ice Age?
I think so.
All 3 movies? I heard this theory that the way the Ice Age story goes is that we're actually watching it backwards. So in the first one, there's the humans chasing the elephants and the animals and whatnot, and then the Ice Age comes. The second one was when the land splits.
Wow.
And the third one is when they go into space.
Yeah.
So it's basically just being played backwards, you know.
Wow.
Space, lands break up.
Have you watched them
Ice
in reverse?
Age. No, but I had seen this interesting TikTok that talked about it.
Do you like Ice Age?
I liked it. But when I had seen it through this eyes, I was just like, whoa. Because in the first movie, there's a painting on the wall that shows other elephants with baby elephants. And when you're watching the first one, you're meant to believe that that's an old elephant, when in reality, it's that main elephant's family that he's seeing on the walls. That got killed by the humans.
I haven't really seen those movies, but my mind is blown. I'm going to go watch Ice Age.
Go watch Ice Age.
I'm a huge movie guy.
Yeah, me too.
Huge movie guy. Movie, music, anything. I'm all into that. So I'll have to do that. What TV shows do you like?
TV shows? I'm an anime guy.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like anime.
I've never gotten into it.
You need to. The one thing I say to people that aren't in anime is that anime has a different way of telling a story. Since it's animated, it's drawn, it can do things that humans can't do in front of a camera.
Yeah.
So their storytelling is just, it hits different sometimes.
It's all Asian?
No, you can read the subtitles, and they sometimes dub the English, it English oil as well. But I recommend for you to watch it. I'll recommend you.
You got to give me like a specific thing.
I'll give you
start
a few
with
good
this.
Ones. It's just that there's so many different things. Like if you're a gory, blood kind of like twisted story kind of thinking, I think Attack on Titan would be the one to go with.
Wow.
That one's wild though, because that one's just like on some Inception kind of thing.
Really?
Yeah, it's just.
I can't follow that.
You just have to pick one.
Do you like Inception?
I do.
I can't follow it.
It's too much.
I kind of know what's going on. Did you see Tenet?
Tenet, no.
It's even worse.
Is it?
What is going on?
Time travel?
Time travel.
You
It should be
believe in time
way
travel?
simpler than that.
No, it's not simple, man.
It's way more difficult?
How do you think time travel goes? Like if I went to the past and changed something, do you think that it opens up multiple timelines, or
it has to?
And if I came to the future, do I come to the future that I left or the new one that I created?
Do you think it's kind of like the straw? It's like, what's the opening? What's the end?
I think we just discovered time travel.
But when it comes to time travel, I kind of want to go more with like a Back to the Future version of time travel than Tenet. Can we just get in the car and go back?
That'd be cool.
Why do we have to? What's the other stuff?
Yeah.
Just get in the car and go back.
Yeah.
I think you would affect the rest of time if you like went back and you tweaked some stuff.
But wouldn't that be like Dresel goes back to the past to change the play, and then would that change your past, or would my present stay the same, or do you just open up a different timeline?
I think it just opens up a can of worms.
You're just gone, and I never see you again. And
yeah, I don't think it's healthy to go back. Why do you want to go back? You know what I mean? We're all here because of what happened.
Some scientists say that it's mathematically impossible to go backwards, that you're only able to time travel to the future.
When you were asking about aliens, and I was like, I think I kind of believe in it. I don't think I believe in time travel at all.
At all? Not even into the future? What about those atomic clocks that they send to the space, and depending on how they travel, it just changes with the time traveled here? Like, time spent out there is different from the time spent here.
That's cheating.
That's true, though. No, that's legit true.
That's true?
Yeah, they set 2 atomic clocks. And I guess the reason they're atomic clocks is because they're going to be precisely the same. They send one to space to travel around the world, whatever it is. But that one came back at a slower time. No, is it slower? Yeah, a slower time than the one here, because time was just different out there. It's kind of like in the Inception movie where they
figured it out.
When they went to the other planet and they spent one day there, in reality, he came back and saw his daughter was old.
Wow.
That's kind of how
Do you think that people are just spending their days, like every second of every day, trying to figure out time travel?
They should.
I think it's happening.
They should.
Wow. If we could go back in time, we might have done this on a different night because of the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going all next door at the quinceañero.
Yeah, that's true.
But I kind of liked it, though. It gave us atmosphere.
Yeah, because now we don't have the music, and
I feel like we've settled in.
A little bit.
It's the questions.
You
got to write those down.
I should start from here.
Like, my brother's easy, right? Like, he's got a podcast. There's a million things to talk about. Like Bigfoot and what else you talk about? Ghosts, I'm sure.
Simulation theories, La Llorona, the Chupacabra, all kinds of things, yeah.
Yeah. So his wife, do you Wordle?
Wordle?
Yeah.
No. I'm terrible
His
with
wife
letters.
keeps getting the Wordle in one.
Really?
And I asked them if they're like summoning demons again. Like, are they like
somebody's
asking,
whispering the words to her?
Are you listening to the little radio thing that tells you? I think he is. I think they're cheating. What was that like when he was here?
There's an aura to him. And it's not like, it's almost like there's two people there. It's weird. I can't explain it, but it was heavy. It was heavy.
Let me tell you about my brother. Absolute savage soccer player.
Yeah?
Unbelievable.
They call him Ribs.
No.
Because he takes him out or what?
No, he's just an unbelievable player. Like, he was so good. I mean, not as good as me.
He played under you though, right?
Yeah.
How was that?
You know,
coaching your brother?
I was hard on my brother. I was harder on my brother than I was harder on anybody else. Like, I just pushed him all the time. I mean, you know how to push each other's buttons. We had a game. We played together, Edmond North. I know we're going long. And he was a freshman. I was a senior. And
he was a freshman. I was a senior.
Yeah.
That's how I got to play with my brother in high school.
Yeah. And so he was a great striker, but he's only a freshman. But he could just score goals.
So you were putting in the assists for him?
Yeah, of course. Come on. So we were playing at Edmond North, and this guy's coaching them, Matt Swanson, and he's a good coach. He's been around here for a long time. Really good player too. And me and Garrett, we're down 2-0 or something. Me and Garrett on the sidelines, and I'm ripping him. We just stopped playing. The rest, it's going. And I'm like, and he's looking at us like,
are you serious?
What's happening? So boom, like Garrett scores. Boom, ball pops in the air. I'm hitting a volley, score a goal. Like, we score 3 straight. I mean, just like quick and like win the game. And he was like, what? But that's just brothers, man. Like, you just know how to push that button. But I think it was good for both of us. But I also think it was good that he only played with me for a year.
For one, that's all he could do. Just
and then he came back and played for me, and he helped us. Like, that helped MACU. It helped, he's just a phenomenal player. But he was injured for most of the season. But I always appreciated that he came back. And it was fun, too, to say, like, oh, he played at MACU for me. But don't get it twisted, dude. Like, the way he's not like that when he plays. He's a jerk. He is.
I feel like a lot of us are jerks.
Everyone thinks that my brother's like, oh, Garrett, he's so nice.
That
I'm
guy?
like, watch him play. Watch him play. I mean, I'm a jerk, too, when I play. But it's just he can switch it on. So
that's funny because
it's just funny.
You don't see it from him as a person.
Dude, if he got fit and started playing,
monster.
I keep telling him, like, play while you can, man. You got to play while you can. But he'd be a monster.
Those cleats have been hung a long time ago. What's the best goal you've seen in person?
Oh, I hate to say this. Oh, no. We were playing SNU. This is the best goal at MACU.
Because that's a funny one that you're going to get into. Because I remember, I think before the game that I think you were talking about your goal. Yeah.
So I seriously scored one of the longest goals I've ever seen.
Like, you said seriously, like some people might not believe you.
No, because I'm not bragging on myself. It just, we had a big win in our back. Thomas Serenga was our assistant coach. He's like, hey, their keeper's cheating out next time you get it. So I get it on and I'm telling the MACU boys before the game, I'm trying to pump them up. I'm like, I don't know why I was trying to pump them up talking about myself, but I'm like, I scored this goal and I'm pointing because I'm like, from that 18, like I picked up a ball off the goal kick, turned and drove a ball over the keeper's head and went in. Like, it was like an 80-yard goal. It was insane. So, and then I'm bragging, I'm getting after it. We get in the game. I think it was Tyler Wythe.
It was.
So was it throw-in or serve? He comes
I don't
up,
know what it was,
punches it. Willie DeLeon from like 30 out.
Yeah.
It's the longest bicycle I've ever seen in my life. Just straight off the ground, bicycle, whack. Like, I mean, I still can't believe it. It had to be him.
Yeah,
it had to be Willie.
Willie was listening to your story going, bet, coach. Okay, watch. I'm going to score better.
He was an unbelievable player. But, man, just.
He's a character, though.
I think that one. We've had some great goals over the years. It's hard to like pick one that they're more like important goals. Like, man, that was a big goal. And I saw some in college that, Dominic would like get himself out of, because they would always commit 3 or 4 defenders to him.
Have to.
And he would just do things that like I've never seen before. I mean, it was just like magic.
It's because I don't know what it is about players that come from that region. It's like they're controlling the ball is just a lot different. I don't know what it is. They step on it some type of way. I can't put my finger on it.
He used to have this way of, like, how we pop the ball up to juggle or whatever. He would step on it and then just kind of move his foot forward, and the ball would hit off his heel. and it would just like fly in the air, and you just like another. He would just be walking, boom. I'm like, I've tried it for years. I can't do it. But he just had like a spell on the ball or something, just some way of
just controlling.
Like it's like an extension of his foot. But there would just be things that would just blow your mind and get out of. He did things that I had never like seen someone do before. But it wasn't that he would score like, top corner or something. It was what he would do, and then he would just finish another day at the office, just slip it in there and score. Yeah. Thomas would every day when he played at SNU, he'd go out from like the right side of the 18, a little bit out, and just hit like outside of his foot, just constantly, boom, just spinning it. I'm like, why does he do it? Like over and over again? I think he could absolutely just stroke a ball. Thomas could, but he still can.
I played with both of them a lot at Western, and even on a pitch like that, they still look graceful.
Yeah, Thomas was like a man of few words, but when he talked, you listened. Like if he talked in our locker room, it was like, okay, everyone shut up. Let's listen to what he has to say. And they were all like quiet like that, but just phenomenal. But that goal from Willie. There was another goal, and I hate to say it because Niall Crick scored it from USAO. He scored a bicycle against us that was pretty sick.
That guy was a problem too, those 4 years that he was at USAO.
So good. All these guys are coaching now. I don't think people understand like how good they were. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think we ever do. I think we all, when we start playing, we don't realize that the coaches that we have are low-key just some monsters. Yeah.
Like another local coach, he's not coaching now, but Jesse Faley played with me on our club team. And he looks great now. He's gotten himself fit, and he's doing really well. But he gained a little bit of weight there for a little bit. And I was telling people, like, you don't understand like don't know how good that guy is. You know what I mean? Like he just take over a game. And, but it's hard to know that when we're older, especially me, man. Like, I don't really look like I could play. Some people are like, when I get out and play a little bit, like, oh, you can kind of play a little bit.
Do you still step in the practices every now and again?
Dude, I do every now and then with the girls, but I just love to play. Like, I'll always be a player at heart. I mean, I'm a coach, but it's like, as long I don't play a lot, but when I can get in and play.
I remember the first time I saw Bice and Dresel play in a futsal court, and I got like a stiff arm from Bice. I was like, oh, okay.
You want to talk about someone else that can turn it on? That's the guy. Nicest guy ever. You get into competition,
that arm comes out.
Sometimes I'd be like, oh, dude, chill out a little bit, man. These are our players.
No. And then whenever you'd get them both against you, both of you guys playing against each other, it was just problems.
Well, we just got where we like played so well together because he's a goal scorer, and I would just set him up. The first time I ever met him, we were at a coaching course, and all the coaches have to play to make the sessions go. So we're split up, we're playing, and no one goes too hard,
Yeah.
Here's this guy out here. He's wearing like not cleats, it's like Asics, like big tennis shoes. Playing as hard as he can play. I'm like, who is this Yahoo?
Getting an E license.
Zach Vice out there just scoring goals against some guy that hasn't played goalkeeper in 20 years. And you're like, funny. Okay, buddy. But that's just how he's a goal scorer, pure goal scorer. So, yeah, it's funny thinking about people like being players before they coach.
Yeah.
You'll be like that someday too, man. You'll be coaching.
Already like that.
And you'll be like talking about the old days.
Telling everybody about how I used to play and when I used to play. It's sad sometimes.
I tell them players that all the time, man, like they get this COVID year now. So a lot of players are being able to play 5 years instead of 4. And I'm like, take it, play. You're never going to be able to do this again. And then some players, they quit. How long were you at MACU?
2 years.
So you're there 2 years, and it's hard when you're there for 1 year or 2 years. You just don't get the whole scope of like 4 years of playing.
No, not at all.
And then you try to explain it to people later, and you're like, I played, but like 2 years, and you know what I mean?
No, it's not. And then it's different coming in as a freshman and sophomore, and then being there your junior and senior year, receiving freshmen and sophomores. It becomes your turf.
Dude, I remember one game you had. You hadn't been getting a lot of minutes. We put you in, started you, and you played lights out for 90 minutes. Do you remember that game?
No. It was one of the first games that I had played, I think.
But you hadn't really got an opportunity. And then I was like, holy crap, this guy can play. You know what I mean? But you had that in you.
It was definitely a confidence thing, too.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Always is.
It's always been a killer, confidence. And then after that, if it wasn't confidence, it was a fitness thing, too. But, yeah, it's just...
But you need time to go through all these different things to see it pay off in the end. And then that'll give you confidence. But people that don't do it that whole time, or that's what's helped me is coaching so long. You go through these ups and downs, but you see where it goes, and you're like, okay, it's all worth it.
Yeah,
like the ups and downs are all worth it at the end when you get to what you're trying to get to.
I was trying to explain it to somebody, and I think that's how life is. It's just, you know, peaks and valleys. You know, you peak, you kind of plateau a little bit, and then depending on what you do there, you know, it's a pivotal moment where you either decide to buckle down a little bit harder, or you just, you know, drop the cleats, you know, in this metaphor. And that's just how life is. At that time, I hit a plateau, and I was, I don't know, didn't. But that's in many things. When I started taking this podcast serious, and I was getting the audio down, I was on vacation in Mexico, and I said, if I put in a little bit more effort, I could do something with this. And then I was like, all right, I plateaued. I decided, all right, am I just going to half-ass this, or am I going to take this serious? And I decided to take it serious, and that's just one thing that I was missing at that point.
Some people, they don't want to take it serious. They're afraid to take that step because once you do that, if you fail, then you put everything into it and you fail. They're scared of that. You cannot be scared of that. Like, you got to go in and you got to go for it. Like, if it's something you want to do, you got to go all in.
Yeah.
And you can't be worried about like what people are going to think if it doesn't work, or you just got to go all in because you're doing something they're not doing. You know what I mean? If you kind of put halfway in, you're never going to know how good it could have been.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's what people have a hard time with and that's what's changed for me too, is just, I'm really insecure, or I was, about like what people would think about me or this and that. And you get to a point where you do it so long, you're just like,
it's kind of like when you hit your 50s and your 60s, you just,
Yeah, and usually when people are talking about you, they're talking up. Like, people don't talk about people beneath them.
That's true.
They talk up. So if someone's talking bad about you, then
that's right.
They want to be you, or they envy you, or whatever.
True.
So, yeah, you're doing the right thing. You just got to go.
Yeah, I'll take it one step further. You have to fail.
For sure.
You have to fail. And if you're too scared to fail, you're not growing. Yes. Getting out of your comfort zone. For me, speaking to people, like the mayor interview that I had.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I hit him on a DM, and he replied, and that's when I was like, all right.
But you went for it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about it too much. I think my wife was more nervous than I was. She's like, hey, you know, you got this. I'll worry about it when that day comes. Yeah. And then when the day came, I'll worry about it when I get there. I'll worry about it when I hit the record button. And then by then, there was no time for me to worry about it. I just jumped right in. But I could have gone pretty bad.
Man, I've raised a lot of money the past 2 years. Like, I've gotten really passionate about fundraising. You know what's changed it for me is I ask. Like, I'm not scared to. I mean, I build relationships, and that matters most to me when people give money, is that we know each other and stuff. But you got to step out there and put yourself out there.
Yeah, and then when you're not afraid of rejection, and then you spin it into a fun way. You're just like, all right, I might get a no, but
dude, let's the best thing you can learn how to do is get told no. That is literally the best thing when you're learning how to influence people, is to learn how to get told no and put yourself out there, ask questions, and ask. But then don't be afraid to get like, I mean, don't ask something stupid, you know? But like, you just got to put yourself out there, and people are afraid to hear no. They just won't do it. So you asking the mayor to do that, I mean, you could have, what's there to lose, for one, but you're still putting yourself out there. And guess what? Guess what he did?
Yeah, he bit.
Your podcast.
Yeah, that was wild. I was like, whoa.
Guess how many other podcasts I've heard that guy on?
Not very many, huh?
I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but
I heard him on yours. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that was a pivotal moment for this, probably. It gave you a little bit. I mean, we're all local people. I think we're all great, but it's like, that gives you a little bit of like,
definitely clout. I felt like that was going to be the one where people were going to be like, oh, because I was always wondering, I was like, at what point do I think people will start to take me a little serious with this? Because, you know, I could have just put 1, 2 and then just dropped it, but I think that one was the one that kind of made people think, oh, like, he's being for real now. Yeah. And now being 31 in, it's just, I think people are taking it serious now.
They're taking it serious for sure. I mean, I've been following it, and it's just like, put yourself out. That's me taking this job. Was like, step, just go. Yeah. Like, you will figure it out. And I'm so thankful and grateful I got the opportunity. And I love it. Like, where I'm at, I love it. I love MACU, but I'm so glad I took this chance. But I never would have if I would have just kind of stayed and, oh, no, I'll let someone else get that. Like, and I was actually shocked they gave it to me, but I never would have had a chance to get it if I didn't, like, put myself out there. So that's a big lesson. But you're learning that as you get older, man.
Yeah, you do.
You just get knocked down, you just keep getting back up.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to, if you would have known on that MACU field, we used to pull garden hoses.
Out of it?
Like, we didn't have an irrigation. Garden hoses.
Oh, watering it. 50. We were the maintenance people, huh?
And then I would go up there in the middle of the night. I lived right on the street. I'd go up there like at 2 a.m. turn the water off, pull those things.
Dang.
And in the moment, you're like, you don't realize it's all of these little things you're doing. And then, you know, a couple years ago, someone was like, man, MACU really burst on the scene. I'm like, dude, that's 15 years of work. It's like when there's an earthquake or something, that's like millions of years of like plates turning, and you just see what happens at the end. And that's the thing that happens is like, you know all the work you do behind the scenes here. Like, I just saw you do it. Putting all
it's almost disrespectful, huh? Just to be like,
no,
oh,
I'm like, what chord is that? Where is that going?
Yeah.
But all that work, it pays off. You just got to keep at it day to day. Just boom. And you're going to hit some like little plateaus or whatever. But yeah. Hit. But dude, you'll have this like the mirror.
Yeah, you know. As a joke, I told him, I was like, well, this is going to be my last episode right at the end, you know. Because, you know, where do I go from here? You should have rode off
in the sunset.
Just ended it right there. No, there's still a lot left to be told on the podcast. There's so many people. Well, now you're trying to get advertisements. Yeah, I would love that. If somebody wants to sponsor, because the cost to do all this stuff, you know. Just ask. Yeah.
You'll do it.
Yeah, I got to get the prices right, because I have no idea what any of that numbers convert to and how to even approach people. But in time.
It's really grown, though. And what, you've been doing it 4 or 5 months?
Since October. I'm a few months now. Oh, yeah, 30 weeks in.
You did so good at it. Now it's like, oh, no, I kind of like this.
I don't like to look back too much. I have a few scheduled guests, but I don't like to go past the month. I just like to keep it right here, you know, because then if I think too far, my head will get too big.
Aki.
You know? These ladies, yeah. But that's basically how I'm taking it. Episode at a time, like the marathon, a mile at a time, one step at a time.
Dude, I was hoping that you were running that this year.
I have to pay respects to the marathon.
I've seen you twice, I think.
I did it twice.
And I just can't believe
I wanted to. There's something about taking a impossible challenge, and it's not impossible.
What do you think about when you run?
I don't.
You know what I think about?
What?
Quitting the entire time.
I couldn't I tried to run with headphones and I couldn't.
Really?
The 5 hours that I was out there running, I could not listen to a thing in my headphone.
Good for you.
Because there's too much going on. I appreciate listening to my footsteps, listening to people cheer me on, running down 23rd Street and seeing the Capitol, and then just all that, soaking it all in was just great. And then past mile 18, when you're trying to hold your guts together, you know, there's nothing. It's terrible. I did so bad in my last marathon that I walked from like Penn Square Mall to the finish line.
Really?
That's how bad it was. It's just I hit a wall and I couldn't get over it.
You finished it.
I finished it though.
That's unbelievable.
But yeah, that's definitely one of those things that I told myself, like, anything's possible. One day I'll I'll do a triathlon too. I'll push myself to
in my dreams, and I haven't even done a marathon. I'd love to do like an ultra marathon.
Yeah.
Just trudge it out for like 50 miles.
There's something about just pushing yourself further than what you think you can do.
My body is what breaks down. Like my mind and just my like breath and everything else. It's just my body. Just when I get to a certain. Yeah, but you got to put in the miles. Yeah. Your body has to get calloused. Acclimated. It's got to get like your bones and your muscles and everything. You can't shock it and be like, your muscles are like, what are we doing? We never run 26 miles before. What are we doing? So you got to put in the miles, but man, I think about quitting. 9 out of 10 times that I go run, I don't want to do it.
That's how it always
starts. Go do it.
What did you tell me the other day?
Action before mood.
Action before mood. Yeah.
People have it the wrong way. They're like, oh, you know, they always got to be in the right mood to do it. You're like, dude, just get out there. Put those shoes on. That's the first thing. If you put your shoes on and get ready, you're going to have a hard time not running. Yeah. You might go run a mile, but that's more than you were going to run. That's how I always, when I started running, what I started thinking about was like, that's more than I was going to run anyways. I hit a mile at least. And then it just, action before mood.
Yeah, for me, it's just don't think about it. Just go. I got to go run 3 miles today. Don't think about it. Just put your shoes on, see what happens after that. Yeah. Put your gear on, see what happens after that. Normally by then, I'm just like, the cues hit and I start stepping out. But I just have done a terrible job.
Dude, you should just not be worried about running like, you should try to go for like 2 mile runs. You're so busy. Yeah. Hit like a mile, hit like 2 miles.
Just go do something, get your 15 minutes in.
Just get it in, dude. I
need to.
Just kind of keep it going. And then all of a sudden you're going to be like, I think I want to go further today.
That's what happens.
You're going to take a left instead of a right. Right's to go home, left's to go 1 more mile. And you'll be like, oh, you go 1 more mile.
When I used to run at like 10:30 at night, 10 o'clock at night. Yeah. When everyone's sleeping, I just run. And then if my wife needs me, just turn on the porch light and I'll just come back. If I'm not there, just wait 15.
So I was so overweight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, when you're an athlete, and then I'm
Yeah, it turns off and
you're
the
like,
metabolism catches
what's
up.
happening?
Mm-hmm.
Even my wife now, she didn't say that. She's like, you're kind of.
Yeah.
I was like, you gonna tell somebody?
Mm-hmm.
So I started running, and I would go at night because I was embarrassed. Like I was slow, I was out of shape and all this stuff, and that's why I would run at night. And then just so no one see me.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel you just because you know where you used to be at too.
Yeah.
Compared to summer nights for me that's the best time for a run.
Yeah.
Summer nights for me, just
getting that air.
Yeah, that warm, humid
I actually
air.
think running without headphones. That's why I'm surprised you do that. But like, it makes your senses.
Yeah.
You smell more. You hear more.
You do, and you got to figure out if you're getting chased by a dog before it's too late.
Dude, I've been chased by some dogs.
With
that is scary.
You can't hear them with the headphones until they're like right here.
Then the owner or something will run out and go, "He's really nice." I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm not gonna find out from your dog how nice he is."
That's definitely chain your dog up, guy.
Yeah, there's a house over by my neighborhood. They always chain their dog up to the tree, and I forget. He's big, and I'll run by. He'll run out. Oh man, I've almost had a couple like heart attacks.
That's funny.
It'll take your pace up for that mile.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, I'm gonna take it serious. I'm gonna get into that running because my body needs it.
Just go.
Just go.
Yeah.
You did the Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Half.
We went out to. There was a half. I did a 10K with my wife. So the reason why I know that running is possible for anyone is I run and I hate running. If there's anybody besides me that hates running more than me, it's my wife.
Yeah, she's doing it.
She was an amazing soccer player, but she hated running. And for that Las Vegas, she started running. And I was so proud of her. Like she would just, I'm going. And then what happens? You start running a little bit more. Now you run a little bit more. And man, I just saw like a change just in her, just demeanor. Everything, like confident, just everything. And because she's accomplishing, getting through something she hates to do. But she killed it. She killed it when we were there. And she's still running now. She was like, I'm not going to run after that's over with. But she'll still hit some runs.
Good.
And for her, she hates it. So, yeah, I ran that. It was fun on the strip. It's those rock and roll. That would be a fun thing for you to do.
That's what I was going to say. And then involving the family is just different. I think next year I'll probably definitely sign my kids up for like the kid 1K or the 5K or something like that.
My brother is handicapped. So Garrett's Garrett's twin. And so I want to push him in a race.
That'd be awesome.
So, dude, maybe I'll get you in on that. I'm trying to form a crew of people.
How does that work? Like, just you, like everybody takes their time or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how much he weighs. But it's, it's like pushing a bag of cement in a chair, like up a hill,
Yeah.
And you're not like, it's a different running motion. I talked to Jared Homer about doing it with me, maybe just people I know that run.
Yeah.
But I want to get it like 4 or 5 guys. And
I'm down.
It'd be so much fun.
That's down. I love the challenge. I love the cause. And
I actually want to, I want to start a nonprofit at some point for something in that realm. And that'll probably be the first
kind of dip into it. Yeah. Get sponsorship. And I already have someone that'll pay for the chair and all that stuff, but I'm just kind of waiting. I think the next year that might be the time. I want Garrett to do it, but he's got like a fractured foot. He's got a fracture in his foot, so he's got to get that fixed. Just put a little pedal and you can just push it like a skateboard. Just push.
I might be pushing him.
Yeah, right.
Push them both.
A little train.
Yeah, you guys push him. I'll push Nathan. He's a little lighter.
Yeah.
But I'm just kidding.
A lot nice.
But Garrett's a better runner than me.
Yeah.
If he really wanted to, he's a better runner than me. But that's kind of the thing I'm going for. Like
That'd
the
be
next
awesome
challenge.
to see. Yeah. Let me know however I could help. I'd be down for that too.
Dude, last thing.
Okay.
I think we're almost done, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm wondering if my wife's like, where's he at?
Yeah. We'll finish it up. Guess what I want to do?
What?
And everyone that knows me really well, if they listen to this collectively, they're all going, please don't bring it up.
What?
I want to be a beekeeper.
A beekeeper?
Yeah.
A beekeeper.
What do you think about that?
I think that's dope. Definitely.
I want to have my own honey.
Yeah. Dude, honey lasts forever. Yes. Yeah.
It's nature's superfood.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that'd be awesome to do. Learn how to jar it.
You think bees could be aliens?
Well, yeah. Have you seen, man? Sorry. You said bees, aliens. There's this like parasite that like gets into bees and controls their minds. I think those could be aliens.
What is that?
I don't know what it is, but it's freaky.
If that thing grows,
yeah,
and gets into us, we're doomed.
Aliens.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is going to be a moment in the next few years. I'm going to be making
a beekeeper. Selling
the
your
suit
own
and
honey?
everything.
I can see you doing that.
I'm
Maybe
pumped.
you can start by like bee removals from houses and whatnot.
I have a friend that sprays for, like, he's a bug spray guy.
Yeah.
He's amazing. And I'll talk to him about sponsorship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. And he can remove them. So
Does
that's
he?
my first part. He's going to remove it. We're going to get the queen.
How do you even start the You get a queen and
Yeah, you got to have the queen.
and put her in a box, or do you start with the little
We're going to have
hive?
some bee box. Yeah, we're going to have some land. People are scared if they don't want bees, everywhere. But I wanted to put it in my backyard. My wife won't let me. But I'm going to have some honey.
You should definitely pursue
I'm saying it here on the record.
What would you call it? Dressel's honey?
Okay.
No.
No,
You got a name?
No. I want to go with the Beatles theme.
Okay.
It's going to be something like Let It Be, but it's going to be like 2 E's.
There's
There's going to be like, and then every kind of, I shouldn't be saying this.
Let it be. I can see a commercial now.
But I shouldn't be saying it because.
No, yeah. You don't want to,
Okay, but.
I was going to say, pour the.
Did you know, like, if you have bees on one side of town, bees on the other side, different places, it tastes different because the foliage and stuff that's around.
Oh.
So, like, if you have a different, like in here, like these different plants, but then you go over across town, you got different plants over there.
I didn't know that.
So I'm going to have these different tasting honeys, Beatles songs.
Mm.
But I'm probably going to run into a copyright issue.
Let it be. I love it, though. Let it be.
Dude,
Just
it's going to get there. Yeah.
You have a catchphrase for it yet? No. Don't tell us the catchphrase.
I'm not going to tell you.
Put it on
I've
some
already
t-shirts.
thought about this quite a bit. I've been thinking about it for about 6 years.
Really?
Yeah, my wife gets tired of it.
Does she really? Is there anything else that you want to pursue that, besides the bee stuff, that you haven't told anybody
No,
about?
man. That's the biggest one.
That's the biggest one? Do I have
How bad is that?
That is not bad at all. I like that.
How bad is that, though? It could have been something cool.
No,
It's
that
just
is
honey.
cool. That is cool. I think honey is, what is it? It's under something. Not undervalued. What's the word I'm talking about?
Underappreciated?
Something like that, yes. But we need honey.
Dude, the fact that you've reacted to it this way,
You're
you're getting one of the first batches.
Dude, if it wasn't for bees, a lot of the flowers here wouldn't get pollinated.
We'd be done.
Right? The earth would be done because bees have an important role in our ecosystem.
Dude, you're the kind of guy I need on my side.
I'm not a yes man. I'll tell it to you
You're
how
a
it
hype
is.
man.
I'm a hype man. Yeah, you can be.
You've motivated me.
The best.
Oh, there's so many different catchphrases
Be
you can
the
go
best.
with. Yeah, there's gonna be a buzz around town for
That's
sure.
just a little unbelievable if you ask me.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry, that's
Yeah, I said one too. You didn't catch it.
no. Yours was better than mine.
You caught it. You just didn't acknowledge it.
No, what was it again?
I said there's gonna be a buzz around town.
Oh no, I didn't. That was good. I didn't catch it. Sorry. You should start a bee place. That'd be nice.
Yeah, we'll do it.
I'm a believer.
Wow, it's gonna keep going, isn't it?
Yeah, better believe it.
Okay, dude, it's getting late. You probably need to get home.
All right, guys. If you've been listening to this episode, I appreciate it. Dresel, I appreciate you for coming on. Do you have anything else to say?
No, I'm honored. Thank you.
This was good.
Oh, it's probably not.
Huh?
You have better episodes, but I appreciate you having me on.
This one's good. This one's good.
I can't be the mayor, but
I want to have a T-shirt that says "I survived the podcast, the Mass Futbol podcast." I think
is it gonna have an alien on it?
It could.
A fish with teeth.
I can make different individual ones for people. I just need to step on it.
Dude, we need to
Monetize
get together off this
Mhm.
and just brainstorm.
We have
I
to.
feel like it could go into some different
For real.
places.
it. Yeah.
No, I really am like honored to be on here,
Thank you for coming
and
on.
I believe in you.
Thank you
so much, man. I think you're gonna do a good job.
Nice, and I would love to see the honey farm.
It's coming.
For real.
Yeah, it's
A
coming.
honey
Don't worry.
sponsorship. I can have your jar sitting right here, and we can.
Do you
sell
ever
it
watch
this way.
Winnie the Pooh when he just dips his hand in the honey?
Yes.
That's what got me going.
I can hear Winnie the Pooh. I love my poo. What is it? I love my honey.
Yeah, it's gonna be me.
All right,
man.
well,
Thank you.
Thank you for coming
Okay.
on. This has been a good episode. Episode 31 of the Mass Futbol podcast. If you made it this far into the episode, man,
Sorry.
I don't know what to say, man. We went all over the place, but you deserve yourself a jar of honey from
Wow.
Dresel. So believe it. It's going to be the best honey in OKC.
Yeah, I believe.
I believe. All right. Everybody, take it easy. This is the Mass Futbol podcast. Peace.